Yo, yo, yo. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Can y'all hear me in the chat? Let me know real quick. Jmaine is actually having some technical difficulties at the moment. So have some patience with us. We apologize that we 13 minutes late, but you already know what it is. We always late. We operate on black folks time around these parts. But I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I figured that, let me go live anyway, so you guys are not too, antsy, bored in the chat, and, chop it up with some of y'all before we get the show officially started. But please let me know if my mic is sounding cool. I would really, really appreciate it, alright? We can hear. All right. Well, okay.
See you talk. I still can't hear
you. Can't hear me? Oh my god, bro.
Let me close out some voice meter shit. Maybe that's fucking up something.
So pretty much Jmaine, we can hear him, but he can't hear nobody in the Discord talking for some reason. So he's having some technical difficulties right now. So I got a question for y'all. Yeah, you hear me?
I think I hear you now.
Let's go. Okay. Let's go.
All right.
We back.
I don't know what the fuck. Oh, my fault. I don't know what the hell is going on with my audio. This shit is all fucked up right now.
It's all messed up.
As at least I can hear you, so we'll figure it out later.
Yes. Retromatic, I really appreciate it. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Appreciate all the support. Shout out to all the channel members over here. We appreciate it. Tears of the Kingdom night.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Boy, the game is fire, bro. Boy, that's all I gotta say for now. The game is fire, bro. I see what's going on the timeline, Jmaine. Mans are trying to downplay it. Mans are butthurt.
We're trying to bring the truth.
Mans are butthurt. Yo,
we gotta
guess
make
what?
sure that the truth is there.
Yo, you know that meme? You know that meme where like dudes are huddled around the TV playing a video game and the guy's like yelling in the background and stuff? That's how we moving right now. We don't give a fuck what none of y'all niggas are saying. We don't care. We enjoying ourselves. We enjoying ourselves. So y'all talking to a wall. Y'all talking to yourselves. Who y'all talking to? We don't give a fuck.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's Tears of the Kingdom week, bro. Stop fucking playing, bro.
Y'all gonna have something to say. We go back. Fuck. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying.
But hurtness is at an all-time fucking high, bro.
Ain't nobody but hurt over
it's sensational.
Nobody but hurt.
Sensational. You know me?
I just can't wait for you to actually play the retail version and then say all those same things. Because we already know what version you got on out here. You know what I'm saying? We know the truth hasn't set you free yet. The truth has not set you free. You're still locked behind a pirate's vision.
all I gotta say is my glimpse, my little preview of the thing. Sensational. Absolutely sensational, bro.
You talking about 60 FPS I'm like, wait.
I know some of y'all are mad about that, but guess what? We do not give a fuck. We do not care. Y'all can stay mad, cry on the timeline all day. We on the fucking Tears of the Kingdom, bro. We on it all night, baby. All night, baby. Let's go. I'm ready to pod, bro. I'm ready to pod. I'm amped, bro. I'm ready to pod, Jmaine. Let's get the cameras going. Let's go, bro. Everything good?
Right,
everything good? Yes, sir. That's dope.
We good.
That's dope.
Y'all let me know in the chat if my audio is coming through clear. Let me know if y'all can hear both of us. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened there, but we here.
But we back. We back. All right. There we go.
Stream.
There we go.
In the chat. You started shouting people out at all? What's good?
Not yet, man. I was just popping some shit, wasting a little bit of time until you got your shit figured out. But we here another week. Good gaming. Episode 33. Yeah, we getting up there, man. And like I said, for episode 50, we definitely making that a live podcast, live in-person podcast with me and you together in the same room. We're making it happen. We definitely making it happen, bro.
That shit should line up perfectly too. If not, then we'll make it happen still.
Yeah, we making it happen. For episode 50, gonna be a special episode. We're gonna link up and do a live podcast together. I'm gonna make sure it happens. Whether I have to take a quick flight to Albany or Jmaine's down here, I'm making it happen. But shout out to everybody pulling up to the podcast. We really do appreciate the support. We see the numbers going up, so I want to say thank you. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I want to say thank you for that. You know what I mean? Week to week, the live viewers are increasing. the people watching the podcast overall from week to week is growing. So good gaming. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the evolution of the show and how it's going so far. We're making your Thursdays lit once again. All right, I do want to shout out some people. We got to shout out people now. It's like tradition at this point. So Blade X, Bless, Leaky, E-Rock, Gian the Don, PS
Yes,
Rewind,
sir.
DX Taker 1, Dismal Dave, Drew 2, Benji, John Santos, Ghost Jaeger, John Donuts, Kempachi, that's my guy right there. John Donuts, I think I already said that. Afro Soul, Black Dragon, Fernando Flores, Sly, I see you in the chat. I see Butch in the chat. Shout out to Butch. Who else? Muck, I see you in the chat. Rich homie Sean, I see you. And I think that's everybody for now. Roxas, I see you in the chat as well. The usual suspects, I see Arcade in the chat. I don't know if I already said Black Dragon, but we got Super Average, Jaren Stamps. We just appreciate it, yo. Appreciate y'all tuning in every week for the podcast, and we're going to give you a good show this week as well. Jmaine, big week,
Yes, sir.
man. Big week.
Absolutely.
Did you expect that review score before we even get into the formalities and talking about what we've been playing? Did you expect that review score though?
Yeah, I think I was like 2 points off from my prediction. I definitely had it lower than Breath of the Wild, but
Me too.
it still being a high scoring
too.
reviewed game. So
Me too.
I think my prediction was like 94. I think overall it landed at a 96. Shit, the way that shit started off, I thought it was gonna be like a 98. I was like, God damn. But when that review score dropped like that, I was like, yeah. Game of the year. Go ahead and pack that shit up.
Bro.
Shit up. It's over. It's over, dog.
Dog, it's locked in.
Pack it up. Pack it up.
I made a little bit of
go crazy.
I made a couple of weeks back. I made a little bit of a cryptic tweet, and obviously, if you know, I was talking about Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I said, Jmaine, I said, Game of the Year 2023 is already set in stone. It's already written in stone.
Right.
And as we can see,
that tweet.
I think it's locked in. I think it's already locked in. But we're gonna get to it. But before that, Jmaine, how has your week been since the last podcast? Have you been playing any new games? How's just life in general, sir?
I've been playing the game of life, nigga. I've been outside. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't been playing shit. I ain't been since what? After we had the pod, that next day was Cinco de Mayo, so I was outside with my.
I think I saw you. I think I seen you on the timeline on Instagram getting lit. Seen you getting lit.
The whole weekend, dog. It was crazy, son. Went outside to one of the Mexican restaurants. Had a crazy ass, big ass Patron margarita. Shit was fire. And then they was roasting me on the timeline. They was like, "Yo, we better see you outside like that for Juneteenth."
Yes, sir.
I was like, "I'm gonna keep it 100. They don't get lit like that for Juneteenth yet. Juneteenth is still, you know what I mean, in its infancy. But they don't really be getting lit like that. At least not where I'm at. But my name was Jose on Friday, so we definitely turned it up. The next day they had a festival. Pretty much a margarita mimosa festival out in like the next town over. So we was outside all day for that shit. And then Sunday I was recovering. So I paid for it on Sunday. And then other than that, other than it's been work throughout the week, I did go back and play Redfall again because last time I played it, I told you I only played like 30 minutes. So I just wanted to get some more, more hours under my belt. I usually give a game like 2 hours before I officially drop it. But shit is still garbage, still trash, and that's pretty much how my week went.
You already know me, still trying to be father of the year. You know what I mean? So,
yes, sir.
Babies in my hand constantly for the most part. Working babies, and I'm still trying to adjust to. I'm still trying to adjust my game life too, right? I'm trying to find a balance where I can still play video games and still take care of an infant because they're extremely needy. And while I'm at work, I know Addie does a great job taking care of him. And so when I do get back, I do want to be as hands-on as possible to give her a break and stuff like that as well. So most of my gaming, low key, as of late, has been on this. It's been on this
Switch?
bad boy. It's been on the Switch, bro. It's kind of It's kind of weird to play games holding the controller, especially with an infant in your arms. It's a little weird. But since this is portable, I know everyone makes fun of it. It's portable, but since it's portable, I can game in the bedroom and stuff like that while he's sleeping and keep an eye on him. I've been mostly playing games on my Switch this past week. I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage. I've been diving deep into that. If you know me, I want to say I'm the most hardcore Fire Emblem fan in the world. I've only played this is like the third Fire Emblem game I played. I played Awakening, beat it, loved it on the 3DS. I played Three Houses, beat it, loved it, and I'm playing Engage now. What's it called? Fire Emblem Engage. I don't know about this one. Story-wise, at least. Story-wise, I don't know about this one. It's a little bit too
Last week I thought it started off good.
It's a little bit too weeby for me. I'm not really feeling the story, but that gameplay, really, really good. Really good.
Okay.
I love the gameplay, and that's literally pushing me forward. With the game, I'm liking the whole like engaged mechanic where you can pretty much like fuse with Fire Emblem characters from the past, like Marth and stuff like that. And I think the whole gameplay concept is dope. I do kind of miss the Three Houses kind of social aspect to the game, as you being the professor and stuff like that. I thought that shit was super lit, man. I thought that shit was super lit. But I am enjoying my time with Engaged, like just the gameplay, because the gameplay perspective of the game, the strategy gameplay is awesome. You know, I love it. And playing on the Switch OLED, colors really be popping. It's a great time. Like, it's a perfect game for the Switch, you know. So I've been mostly playing that. And I've been, you know, here and there dabbling, you know, dipping my toes in a little game called Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the exclusive,
and the high seas,
the exclusive version. You know what I mean?
You was right. You know, black people, we don't go swimming, but we'll dip our toes in the high seas. You know what I mean? Get our little feet wet.
And before the Nintendo brethren try to attack me, I'm big supporter Switch. I'm all supporting. I love buying games, so I already got the collector's edition and a regular copy pre-ordered, and I'm gonna be picking them at midnight. And I'm most likely
gonna midnight release over by you.
They're doing a midnight release, and I'm mostly gonna actually beat the game first on Switch, because the PC exclusive version is getting there. Jmaine, it's almost there.
Right,
it's close. And they've been working really fast, Jmaine. Boy, when the first time I got it, they've been working fast. Like, I already knew this game was going to be a high priority game because everyone fucking loves Zelda, right?
Yeah, especially after the first one.
I'm super impressed how quickly they're getting shit done with this. It's not quite there yet at this point. If I want to play the game all the way through at 30 FPS, 1440p, I can do that right now. Easily. Right. I could do that right now with little graphical glitches here and there, and stuff like that. Just today, I got hooked up with a 60 frames per second patch, Jmaine. And I got it working on Yuzu Early Access. I got all the keys and all the stuff, all the mods that they got so far, Jmaine. Sensational. It still has some slowdown in certain areas. Whether the shaders compiling or just whether it just be, you know, they just need to get the optimization right. I don't know how this emulation shit works, right? But so far, when the shit's running peak 60 FPS, I even put that shit at 4K. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. Stunning. Absolutely beautiful.
Damn.
And what I'm thinking is I'm going to run through the game since, you know, I don't really have too much time on my computer these days. I'm going to run through the game on the Switch. Then, you know, I'm definitely going to run it back on PC, especially when, you know, the mods for the, you know, ultra wide support and all of that stuff come in like they did with Breath of the Wild. I'm definitely going to run it back on PC a little bit later. But I've been, you know, playing around and tinkering around with Tears of a Kingdom 2. And I can't wait to the, you know, the release.
You know, Nintendo in the chat right now. So if anybody after the show mysteriously start asking you for links and shit like that, just be careful, because Nintendo, they out there, yo. They out there every day.
They took a whole match. Then aren't they taking like a part of a guy's salary? Like, you have to pay them for life, literally.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. I couldn't imagine like owing somebody money like that for the rest of my fucking life. Like, every time you make money or you try to plan some shit, you just gotta deduct what Nintendo was gonna take from you out of everything. That's like child support. That shit, but worse, because he probably gonna live longer than the you know, the average child support system. You know, today 18 or 21 or whatever. That shit is woo.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm praying for that man. I'm praying for that man.
Okay, so since we're already here, you know, low-key, I was gonna save like the Zelda conversation for a little bit later in the podcast, but since we're already here, the reviews, like we said, it came out, raving reviews.
Ooh,
It's
did
currently
they?
sitting at 96 on Metacritic right now. I predicted that it was going to be a 95. The reason why I
Oh yeah,
predicted
he's right
that,
there.
look, I knew Tears of the Kingdom is going to be better than Breath of the Wild in every single way. I predict that it will be better in every
Right.
single way. But the simple fact that it won't score the same because the foundation is ultimately the same. You know, when they introduced Breath of the Wild for the very first time, it was something like we haven't seen Zelda in this kind of light ever before, right? So
Right.
obviously it was gonna get like crazy reviews. But since that we kind of been kind of experienced Hyrule like this already, I already knew that they're gonna like not give it as high reviews, and I'm actually really impressed. I thought it was gonna be like 95, maybe drop down to a 90 floor, but it looks like it's sticking at a 96, which is just 1 point off. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just as amazing. So that's
Yeah,
great.
it stayed because I think for the most part it was like at a 97 with all the reviews flooding in, and then I think it was one review. I think the lowest it got was like a 60.
I think
And
that's what
that
probably
was
brought it
from-
down.
Yeah, I think. Hold on, let me see. Other than that 60, it got a few eights, but other than like 4 or 5 eights, everything
Mostly
else is a
10s.
90 above, and then a 60. That's 60 right there, boy. That should look crazy. I know. Oh, so it's a 60 from Gfinity. I
Never
went
heard
to
of
me either. I went to their Twitter account. That tweet has over 1 million views, and they is going crazy.
I know,
So
I
for
know.
all that shit you was saying, when they don't care about what motherfuckers are saying about these review scores, they care because they is going crazy over there in the mentions. He got like 1,000 quote tweets.
Oh, yeah?
and hundreds of responses. That shit, 1.2 million views at this point. 6 out
This
of
is
10.
probably the most attention that website has ever gotten in their life. So
Oh, absolutely.
you know, people, you know, there got to be that one reviewer that's trying to clout chase right now. So, and they're giving them the attention that they want.
Well, I didn't get a chance to read his review, but based on like the synopsis, it seemed like whoever this person was, didn't even really like the first Breath of the Wild anyway. So
Which is fair.
Yeah, he
I'm not
he
mad at it.
Gave it a second attempt, and I guess it didn't do it for him. And who knows? He probably ran into some frame rate issues that a lot of these other reviewers ignored. Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right,
Let's
so
talk about it.
Since you're taking us there, and Jmaine,
Let's
I want to
go.
ask you, why are people so butthurt on the timeline because of this, sir? Can you explain to me? Because they act like
Absolutely.
Nintendo.
Absolutely.
This is like some sort of Nintendo pass, but I could probably give you 10 different examples where games have gotten or had some technical issues, right, here and there, and still scored extremely high that are not on a Nintendo platform. So can you explain
That's
to
true.
me why people are so butthurt by this specifically? Can you let me know?
Well, I think the Nintendo Pass, you have a good point there, because like you said, a lot of other games get
I can name 'em.
passes.
I can
Shit,
name
we
'em.
just saw one a few weeks ago. I think Jedi
Jedi
Survivor
got an 87. First of all, that's
yeah, it has
an
an
incredible
87.
score. That's an
no
incredible
fucking
score.
way. Yeah, no
Right?
fucking way you would have thought that game was riddled with bugs and resolution
And-
issues and frame rate drops.
And
like
from
that.
what I'm
You would never
hearing,
thought that.
and Jamie, from what I'm hearing, that game is probably more buggier than Tears of the King. I'm not hearing Tears of the King. I watched Digital Foundry's video, by the way. They said
Oh, now
that.
you watched Into the Foundry's video. Hold on. Since
I
when you
watched-
watched Into the Foundry?
I just want to see what's good. I want to see what's good with the performance real quick. You know, I
okay.
skipped through. I just want to see what good. And they said that the experience is pretty stable overall and hitting its targets, except for when Link is using his Ultra Hand ability. You know, the ability that lets him fuse stuff.
A
and stuff
very
like that.
major feature, right? So only
stuff.
The frame rate only drops when I'm using a very major feature within the
Jmaine,
game.
no excuses.
What?
I want it to be stable. No excuses. It sucks. It
right.
sucks.
And it's not. So I don't
But-
understand all of these tens. I don't.
It
Because
sucks. But once again,
it's not the
there's-
Nintendo pass. It's a pass in general. That I think
Okay,
is just a
okay.
blanket pass at this point.
Okay.
Because I think, like I said, you made a good point with it's not a Nintendo pass. There's
It
games.
isn't.
Bloodborne had performance issues. And,
Didn't it not? Didn't
frame rate
didn't y'all
pacing and the
complain
shit-
that
shit-
Elden Ring had
exactly.
exactly?
But people
Okay.
did call it out. So I think it's just keeping the same energy portion of it that people have a problem with, is because when things have frame rate issues, sometimes they pick and choose. Reviewers pick and choose what games they want to call it out for and what games they don't.
No, Jmaine, you know what I think it is? For real. If your game is shit, and on top of that, it don't run well, I think it's a different type of slap in the face type of disrespect. Like if your game actually sucks, It's like, yo, your game sucks and you have performance issues. Get the fuck out of here. 5 out of 10 type of situation. You know what I'm trying to say? Versus look, this game, from what I played a little bit, I could tell this is about to be fucking sensational. You know, that's the difference. I think that's kind of the difference with games like Elden Ring and even Star Wars. I'm not trying to excuse it because I didn't even buy Star Wars because of because once again, I have expectations. When I buy a game on my PC, I bought a $2,000 GPU, Jmaine, right?
Right.
I have a certain expectation how I expect games to run after spending $2,000 on a GPU, $1,200 on a monitor, on my 4K display, another $2,000. You understand what I'm trying to? I have a different level of expectation on how I want shit to run, and I won't accept anything if it's gonna be super trash. That's why I skipped Star Wars Jedi Survivor for now. And once they get it up to running in my standard, how I typically play most of my PC games, then I will support it and I will buy it. You know what I'm saying?
But even the Switch should have a standard too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I agree.
We know it's old hardware, 2017 handheld.
Once again,
it should still have a standard.
You're 100% right. I had an issue for the Switch for a very long time. That's why, you know, man's folded over and it was a Steam Deck boy, right? I had a Switch because even the targets that the Switch was supposed to be hitting for its games, I was disappointed. Look, what's that game? Mario Bowser's Fury. The second half of that game. They had performance issues. I'm like, yo, why am I playing a Mario game with performance issues? Typically, Mario games are flawless when it comes to that. So, honestly, those were like really bothering me. At a certain point, I'm like, yo, I don't know why Nintendo's first-party games are not even hitting the targets that it's supposed to hit. Like, you already set yourself a standard to 720p. I'm cool with that. Portable. I'm cool with that. 1080. I never play my Switch dock, so that's neither here nor there. I don't care about it.
That shit is a handheld.
Yeah, I play portable all the time. For the people who play a dock, bravo for you, right? So I have expectations that, okay, 720p, 60 frames per second, or 720p, 30 locked. If I'm playing a game on the Switch, that's my expectation. So that's why games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't buy. That game drops down to like 350, 450p, right? And on top of that, so I'm like, no, that's like a little bit too much for me. I can't pick that up. But it's quite amazing watching, you know, people kind of ignore the fact that Tears of the Kingdom overall is like everyone is saying is a fucking great experience. It does it have performance hiccups with a certain mode that you go into? Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Does that mean it's still not a quality incredible game? I don't know.
It depends on how frequent those hiccups are.
That's what I'm saying. It depends. That's what it means.
I haven't played it yet.
And I haven't played the Switch. I haven't played the Switch version yet. But all I heard from Digital Foundry, I never played the Switch version, so you're gonna hear my impressions next week.
That's the only one you watch. I watch multiple performance reviews.
So what'd you hear? What'd you hear?
And it wasn't even just the God Hand or the Ultra Hand mode.
What did it get the patch? Was it with the patch?
He was playing on the latest patch, and it was also in busy areas when there was like stuff going on, and when combat is crazy when like a lot of enemies and stuff is happening on screen. So and that performance review I watched, it was like, and Digital Foundries, he was like, yeah, everything is good. And then when the parts that he was showing it running at 30 FPS, it was like when Link was flying through the sky or running through the grass when ain't nothing happening. Of course it's going to run well during that. But what happens when we're really getting busy in those sections that are crazy? Like if it's going to be dropping in those key pivotal moments when you're trying to build something or you're going against a bunch of enemies, you try to take stuff down, that's going to hinder the gameplay experience.
Once again,
why I'm just like,
I 100% agree. I would prefer if this, Silver Raven Moon. Excuses, he says. 720p, 21 frames per second. Okay, now, my nigga, can the Switch play anything above 720p? That's why I don't understand. Like, y'all wanted to, like, all of a sudden play 4K. Nigga, the Switch only plays 720p on handheld. So what am I supposed to do? You act like there's a different, like, the only, like, there's not another official alternative. If there was a different official alternative, I wouldn't be playing it on the Switch, right? I would love, Jmaine, I would absolutely love to buy the game and just play it on PC. But even right now, for me to play it on PC the way I want to, it's not even there yet. Because I'm still getting dips. I'm still getting slowdowns. The cutscenes are still sped up with the 60 frames per second mod. So I can't even truly enjoy the game on PC. I would have to wait. But the problem is, Jmaine, I'm not fucking waiting. I need to experience this game. Then I'm a guy who always replays games. Then when they figure out this whole PC emulation is running flawless, I'm going to replay it on PC and get the definitive edition version of Tears of a Kingdom. But once again, I feel like people have these weird ass expectations when it comes to like hardware that it's not even capable. Like, I don't know about you, Jmaine. Like I was explaining before, when I play on my PC, with what I invested in it, I have a certain expectations of how I want my games to run. When I play a game on the PS5, Series X, I have a certain expectation because I know what the hardware is inside and I know what, like, y'all could do better. Yeah, what it's capable of. I know what my Switch is capable of, Jmaine. I know what my Steam Deck is capable of. So yes, I do go through some compromise because I'm playing on a fucking tablet. I'm playing on a handheld device. You know, so I'm expecting some sort of compromise.
I agree with that.
So I don't know why people are having these like stupid ass expectations, like, oh, now you're playing a game at 17. Of course, I'm playing on the fucking tablet. I would never play 720p on my computer. Have you ever seen me say 720p is acceptable on my PC, my Xbox, my PlayStation 5? No, because I know it's way more capable than that. My Switch, the resolution, the display of my Switch is only going up to 720p, Jmaine. What are we talking about here? So as long as it's hitting its targets, I'm cool.
So the one thing I push back with against those things is that when you know or when you understand the standard for each set platform and it doesn't hit it, the only thing you could do at that point is set yourself accordingly to approach it. How comfortable do you feel supporting what it's hitting based on its targets and stuff like that? So back when they first said they was going to charge $70 for Zelda Breath of the Wild, I'm like, I'm not paying $70 for that. And I did it. I'm not paying $70 for a game that is running 720p or 900p 30 FPS. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. And you could say all you want about the game, like the contents of the game and how the game plays, stuff like that. Incredible.
I disagree with you on that point because I don't necessarily put. I think everything's not black and white. There's a whole lot of gray in this area. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not gonna put. There's a lot of nuance in this. I'm not gonna put just because the Switch like Breath of the Wild, like you're saying, for example. Like I'm not down to throw $70 to play. Because
it's not a Breath of the Wild thing. It's a Nintendo thing. I don't feel comfortable supporting Nintendo for going that route. They made that choice of going the handheld route when we were expecting probably for them to go up or build a new. So the fact that they went that route and now they're continuing it and they want to up the price on the game that they went that route with, I don't feel comfortable supporting Nintendo at $70 for that. Same thing with if it's a PlayStation or Xbox game. If when Redfall or Gotham Knights and all those games, was it A Plague's Tale Requiem? Those games didn't have like 60 FPS modes at launch. I don't feel comfortable supporting that, knowing that these games are capable of having those modes. We just saw A Plague Tale Requiem get a 60 FPS patch 6 months later.
Yeah.
So like when people was like getting on us about it not having a 60 FPS mode at launch, no, that we was right to get on about that. That means
you're right.
You didn't put in the effort and the work that was there or needed to be there to get that game to run at 60 FPS. So I don't feel comfortable supporting you when I know that it's capable. Or I feel like it's capable of that. So that's kind of what I mean by I price my support accordingly based on what the so yeah. I know what the Switch is. I know what it's like. It's not gonna do 60 FPS. I'm not expecting that. I just expect the shit to hit the 30 FPS targets that it should be hitting on these type of games.
Yeah, you're
absolutely optimization.
You're absolutely right.
So that should be there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Once again, this game should be locked 30 frames per second, and I've been a super advocate of that. Yeah, we need to upgrade a Switch. Shit came out in 2017. It's about time that we got some new hardware for the Switch, so games like this can perform as intended to without having some sort of performance technical hiccups or anything like that. So I do definitely agree with you. But once again, even on the Switch, I have once I pointed it out on the Switch, even I have standards for that. Even though I know what it is. There's a certain point where you go that I can't jump in. I can't jump in with this. Once again, that's why I threw it out there. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You see them perform. You see them resolutions for them games. People swear about them games. If you love it, you love it. If you love it, you love it. But I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and my God, the image quality of that game was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. On top of that, I had frame rate issues. Right, so I can't go down that far, but. From what I'm seeing with Zelda, Jmaine, I think I can manage. I'm sorry. I think I can manage for this type of quality game for the Switch, so I can manage. But once again, it's Tears of the Kingdom night. Nothing is stopping this hype train, Jmaine. Niggas are fucking hyped. I played
I'm there.
a
Shit
bit
is
of
already
it. Once again,
downloaded.
I played a bit of it. I already know how it's looking, and it's going. I already could tell it's going to be something special. I already could tell it's going to be something special. So it is what it is. And from what we got reports that the game actually has full-fledged dungeons this time, and they're all
heard that.
and each like the dungeons in each region is like it resembles each region that the dungeon's in and stuff like that. I guess I don't know if it's gonna be like a water temple type of situation. Or
that's what I was kind of thinking too. So
I don't know.
Is it going to be like the 4 temples that was in Breath of the Wild? But
see, that's why I'm very curious.
Stuff like that.
I don't think this is a spoiler at this point, but we know that shrines have made a return in the game, and I'm glad that they did. Right? I was always for the shrines need to stay. I was always for that, but I did want them to add bigger, more complex dungeons in the sequel, because in Breath of the Wild, I can't even lie, those were the middest parts of the game. The Divine Beast little dungeon sections weren't that good. The boss fights weren't as interesting. So the fact that these guys got real dungeons in the game now, first, I don't know how much dungeons are in the game though. I think that's the next question. Is it just 4? Like the Divine Beast? Is it 5? Is it 10? I don't know, but I talked to one of my boys. He said he played one, and he said it was huge. It was big. So that's a thumbs up, because I like my dungeons being big. Hopefully you have to find keys. You have to find the compass. Hopefully you have to find the map like the OG games. I'm really hoping.
You gotta pause.
What happened? Wait. What did I say? Did I say something sus? I missed it. What did I say?
The way that shit is just coming out.
Wait. What did I say? What did I say? Did I say something? No. I'm excited, bro. I'm good.
It was just flowing crazy. You talking about thumbs up and something was big. I'm like, all right, slow down. All right, sometimes you talk fast. All right, just slow down.
My bad. I'm excited. Your boy's excited. You all can tell. Your boy's excited for this game. Yo, bro, I put hundreds of hours in Breath of the Wild, man. And if you guys don't know, I'm actually like a big Zelda fan. I've played the majority of the games, right? The series is actually older than me, so I haven't played like the very old ones, but I went back and played A Link to the Past already before. I already played that. I've played what's it called? The Wind Waker's Twilight Princess. I didn't beat Skyward Sword, because to be honest, I didn't really like that game. I didn't really like Skyward Sword. But I played a lot of it. I played A Link Between Worlds. I played Link's Awakening. I played a lot of fucking Zelda games, and I'm a big fan. So I'm really excited about this game and really diving into it. We do got some super chats that I missed. I want to get it before we get too deep in conversation and forget. Thunder says, how's that exclusive PC demo? I think you already got your answer. I think I pretty much answered that for you, my guy. It's fire. So far, they're making really good strides to it. It's not quite 100% where I wanted to be, so I'm going to chill the fuck out until they get it there, but I'm definitely going to be doing a second playthrough.
I took a look at that Patreon they got over there. They getting some nice money over there, man.
Yeah, they're getting good support, bro.
Yeah, so I definitely understand how they're able to, crank this Tears of the Kingdom port or emulator and shit, and have that going like it is, because they're getting some dollars, so people definitely fucking with them over there. Yeah.
This one's from OG Rizo. He says it's motherfucking Zelda Day. That's a fact. I'm gassed as hell. This one's from Yo Nick. He says, yo, what it do, my dogs? He says it's gonna be a great episode as usual. I appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat. And we got one from Crispin. Shout out to Crispin. That's a long time subscriber on the channel. I see you. He says, when a Switch game is 720p 30 frames per second, it's bad. When a PC game is 720p 30 frames per second low settings on Steam Deck, it's okay. I don't get it.
Shit, not to me.
The funny thing is, I avoid games that Steam. I try to avoid games on my Steam Deck that run like that. To be honest, like
that, you got to put it on low settings.
If I have to make it super ugly, if I have to get that shit super ugly just to get it running, I'm not playing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing it. Like,
especially the Steam Deck is what 2022. That came out last year, right? Right. We're talking about the Switch 2017 and hardware, and that shit is old as fuck. So
yeah, like for what the Steam Deck does, it's impressive, right? What the Steam Deck is impressive overall. Just to get like a portable PC where you could just have access to your entire Steam library like that is impressive. But in the end of the day, some games are just not meant to be experienced in certain ways, and I feel like the Steam Deck has its games that work extremely well on it on the go or portably, and others that are not so great, and you definitely just need to play this on a desktop or just somewhere else, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But Zelda, man, is there any other comments
I mean,
that we need to do, or are we pretty much okay? Let's get a sales prediction. How about that? I want the chat to get involved too.
Sales, so like
Sales prediction.
because they if a shit is going crazy, I think the Pokemon numbers they came out with those quick. That was like 10 million, I think, in 3 days or something like that. Let me see.
This game is definitely doing 10 million in
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
It's definitely doing 10 million a week within a week, 100%.
Within a week.
100%. I think so.
I know I said 8 million somewhere, but I don't know if I said that in a week or if I said that
in like 3 days.
In 3 days.
We gonna hear about them numbers though. That's for sure.
Absolutely. This shit. I mean, it was topping all the charts for like Amazon and Best Buy and stuff like that. And
the difference,
digital gonna go crazy.
Yo, and the difference, Jmaine, is that now the Switch's install base versus like Breath of the Wild launching with it, and people just buying a copy of Breath of the Wild with the Switch. A lot of people already have a Switch at this point, sitting at their crib, and. Honestly, I think this game is gonna. What's gonna really tell me when I go for this midnight launch to pick up my collector's edition? This is really gonna let me know. It's really gonna let me know. Like, give me a really good temperature check. Like, if people are gonna be outside, like we're in 2023, and if people are pulling up, if there's like over like edition? If there's over like 30 people, 20 people, I'm gonna think this game's doing something stupid.
But Nintendo dudes always pull up. Like when it comes to those like collector's editions and physical copies, like that's just what they do. Like they come out the house, haven't taken a shower, and they pulling up. Like they bringing they Switch with them. They playing, they trading, they doing playing Pokemon games. They're gonna be there outside with the Switch for this. So I can see it going crazy when it comes to that midnight release. You gonna take a picture, it's gonna look like Switch launch night out that motherfucker.
No, it's gonna go crazy. It's definitely gonna go crazy, and I can't wait to pick it up, yo. At this point, yo, I guess by the time we come back for next week, Jmaine's gonna have hands-on impressions. I'm gonna give you guys my proper hands-on impressions of the game because at that point I'm gonna be going crazy. I'm gonna be playing the game everywhere I go, holding the baby at work, on the can. I'm gonna be playing the game everywhere. So until I finish it. So, we'll give you guys our proper impressions of the game next podcast. But the reviews look fantastic, and I just can't wait to jump into this Hyrule, bro. This world of Hyrule.
All right. Well, speaking of numbers, I think we should jump right to the Nintendo reports with the sales.
Let's do that.
They just had their, their fiscal year sales report come out, and in terms of like the hardware, the console sales, they definitely declined by 22%, and I mean the Switch is at what 6 years now,
going into 7 soon. Yep.
Yeah. So even though it's a beast in terms of sales, I think 125.62 million Switches have been sold as of March 31st.
That's so impressive. Incredible.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. And the way they talking, it seems like we might not get Switch 2 or whatever that shit's going to be till like at least next year.
Yeah, I think they said, what did they say specifically? Because I think a comment did come out, like they had no hardware plans for this year. And they're saying like the earliest that we're going to get a Nintendo's next console, I think they said, did they say spring?
It was spring 2024.
Spring 2024. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
so we're going through this whole year.
And I think Nintendo, if I read correctly, I think Nintendo was planning on selling 15 more million Nintendo Switches.
Yep, that's the forecast. So pretty much by the time that they say don't expect nothing new we could be looking at the Switch being at 140 million.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
So yeah, they listen. I don't know what the DS do, 150, and I think the PS2 did like 155 or 159.
Yeah, we know the PS2 is somewhere around 150. We know the PS2. The DS, what did the DS do though? The original, because that one sold like gangbusters too, bro. That shit went crazy. Yeah,
the original DS I have at 154 million. And then the PS2 is somewhere above 155 million. So the Switch is actually, Switch third best selling console ever, hardware ever.
That's mighty impressive. Like Nintendo, honestly, that was a big brain play that they did. I still remember the days when the Switch was touted as the NX and people didn't know what it is and they're just talking about the concept of the ideas. And I still remember certain man saying that this shit is gonna be trash. It's gonna be a flop. It wasn't gonna be a flop. I remember certain mans. I ain't gonna say no names. They said it was gonna be, but I remember when I heard the concept of the idea, I already knew this shit was gonna be out of here because Nintendo always does extremely well with their handheld devices, and this is just the perfect transition for them, just to combine both together and just your home console and make it a handle at the same time. Make all the developers that they have pretty much just work on one system.
Just combine into one. Yeah,
one system.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's literally genius. And I got a question for you. Do you think Nintendo's next device? Because that company, they're definitely strange. They're the type of company that they would find success like this and do a complete U-turn and do something totally different. You know what I mean? They're definitely the company to do that. But do you think
I don't think they're going to do that this time.
This time, do you think they're going to be more conservative with their next iteration and they're just going to make like a Switch kind of sequel? Or you think they're taking us somewhere else with their next console? What do you think?
The most obscure thing I could see them doing with the Switch 2 is maybe actually making the actual like dock something like of its own, like in terms of like power. That way, like, the handheld is just one thing and then the dock is maybe something else. But even then, they still might even sell like a Switch 2 by itself. But I don't think they're going to go away from this concept because, like you said, it just works well. It makes too much sense. And to go and to break it up or do something different would be fucking stupid. You don't sell 140 million of something and then be like, nah, we're gonna go somewhere else with this. Like,
yeah,
you
honestly,
just don't do like look at the DS. Like the DS did this thing, and how many iterations of the DS it was, and then the 3DS came out. Like they stuck with that shit. And they was like, you know what, handheld is our shit. Let's get rid of. They got rid of the console, like the home console. Like they got rid of that and just went handheld that you could dock. Like
yeah, I think they have to stick with this. I really do, because honestly, it's a perfect situation for them. We already know Nintendo typically doesn't get much third-party support, and this really helps with just the platform getting more games in general, if you've noticed, right? Because the Switch has gotten a lot of games because the two divisions are now combined into one umbrella, like one entity. You know what I mean? The portable and the home console situation. So I think they should honestly continue with this idea. Like you said, maybe there's a way that you can dock it. And because it definitely exists where, you have these external GPUs and stuff like that. So maybe they can go that route for people who want that. And honestly, all I want from my Switch at this point is, just give me 60 frames per second more with these games. I would love to play like Tears of the Kingdom port, like handheld, but 60 frames per second. And do you think even with the next Switch iteration, I'm expecting no higher screen resolution of 1080p. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not gonna go about that.
I don't think so. Because Nintendo's not really competing on that aspect either, right? Like they're not even they never really competed with Xbox
even when you're looking at the even looking at the PC handheld stuff, like I think 1080p is the max we saw.
Because it's a reason, Jmaine. Battery life.
PC.
Yeah, no, because the battery life is honestly, I think they could actually get stronger mobile chips, Jmaine, in portable devices. But I think the reoccurring issue that these guys face is doing this, but making it, actually convenient, that you're not charging it in fucking 30 minutes, right? I think battery technology hasn't literally kept up with the hardware side of things, because batteries just can't handle it, bro. It just can't handle it. Yeah. Like we see the ROG Ally now. I think they did a conference or something, or a live stream or some shit like that, announce the price and stuff like that, and we now know that shit in performance mode lasts like 2 hours.
I said up to 2 hours.
Up to 2 hours. So even less.
That shit, and it's looking like you might get like an hour and a half. You might be able to take a shit, and then that's about it in performance mode. Go ahead and knock that thing back down. I do want to see some of the benchmarks though. Like they really didn't show much benchmarks, or at least the part of the conference I watched. I didn't see much benchmarks.
Jmaine, y'all might say y'all might say that I'm capping or talking shit or this that, but the Steam Deck's display and the Nintendo Switch display resolution at this size, I actually think it's fine, because honestly, the smaller the screen, to me, resolution is only kind of relative, like how big you're playing. Like if you're seeing 720p on a big ass 65 inch, it's disgusting, right? But if you're seeing 720p on a 6-inch display, it's you know what I'm saying? It's not that bad, bro. Especially if your game has some sort of anti-aliasing implementation and stuff like that, right? It actually really doesn't look that bad on a small screen. It's only when you blow it up, then the shit looks fucking ugly as fuck. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like even if the next iteration of the Switch is 720p and they kept like the OLED panel, but the performance is actually better.
They gotta go higher 720p. Man.
Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they did 720p, but it's 60 frames per second. That's like all our games are 60. You know what I mean? All our games are 60.
I need higher than that.
So what do you need? What do you need on the portable the screen? You need 1080p minimum.
1080p 60.
I'm not mad at that either.
That has to.
Well, they gotta get the battery life right. Then they gotta get the battery life right, and so it lasts at least more than fucking 2 hours. It has to at least 4 or 5 hours at least.
Right. So I don't expect, because I don't know that ROG ally, like what does it mean when it's in performance mode? Because that shit could do 120 FPS. So does it mean performance mode you going up to 120 FPS or what? See, I gotta know that. So if it's just 1080p 60, then I think it'll be all right, especially with the advancements and stuff like that.
You're right. Maybe we should strive for higher. Yeah, you're right.
They're not they're not these like graphical, like they look nice in terms of like art style and stuff like that, but they ain't like these realistic graphics and
they go for the cartoony stuff, which looks alright. You know what I mean?
Right, it's its own thing, but it still looks good. So
yeah, okay, I feel you on that. Maybe we should strive for a little bit higher. Maybe they do 1080p this time on the portable.
Yeah, I can see that. 1080p.
Oh, but they got to keep the OLED display. They can't revert, yo. The OLED display is nice, bro.
I'm glad you come around to the OLED. So yeah,
they got to keep the OLED display, man. That shit is fire, bro.
Because they was talking about that PlayStation portal would be an LCD. Like, nah, we can't do that.
Yeah, we got a super chat donation from Zobi. He says, some people connect a GPU to a laptop to improve gaming. I can see the next dock doing that. They can also pull an Apple and make their own CPU. That is true. That is true. But I think they do got a partnership for NVIDIA for, I don't know if it was 2 decades or a decade or something like that.
Was it? Because I was wondering if they was gonna go with them AMD chips. I know them new chips they was talking about those as being like fire in the next generation of the mobile. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
And then they're using FSR. They're using FSR on
technology. Yeah, hopefully it gets FSR 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go with DLSS on the Switch. I don't know if it can do it, but it is an NVIDIA chip and all of that. So.
Yeah, I think these Tegra chips are kind of old. I don't know if it has that kind of support. Who knows?
Yeah, good point. I don't know. Probably can't even run that shit.
But can you give us some of the top 5 most selling games on the Nintendo Switch right now?
That's exactly what I was about to go to next. So yeah, the best selling Switch games all time: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 53 million.
53 million copies.
That shit
Jesus
is incredible.
Christ.
I
gotta say, yo, low-key them added all them old school tracks, like with the booster packs and stuff like that. That shit kind of almost make it feel like a new game. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That shit kind of tough, bro. That shit kind of tough.
Great DLC over there.
That was a good DLC pack, man. I'm fucking with it, yo. Ever since I got the OLED, I went ahead and bought the $30 DLC, and they have mad fucking tracks, Jmaine, bro. Almost feels like a new game, low key, almost feels like a new game, bro.
Yeah. So second on that list, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, 42 million.
Sensational.
Yeah, that game was a fucking phenomenon. Like I ain't gonna front. That shit came out of nowhere. I didn't know Animal Crossing had it in it.
But the funny thing is, the previous games did big numbers too. Not as big as this one, but it did big numbers too. I think it sold like 20 million.
42.
Yeah.
Did it? The previous game?
I think so.
Oh shit.
I think so.
Maybe I was sleeping on it.
Hold on. Let me just, so people don't say I'm capping. Animal Crossing New Leaf. I believe that I bought that game way back. New Leaf. Sales.
What was that, DS?
Yeah, that was DS or 3DS.
Oh, okay. 3DS probably. Yeah.
Hey, was it 10 or? Let me see. Okay, I lied. 13. It's still a lot.
13.
I think 13. I think that's what it said. 13 million.
Yeah, 40. That's the damn near almost 4 times. Like. Or 3 times.
It's actually quite impressive because with each iteration, it seems to be growing more and more every time they drop a new Animal Crossing. Like it's still gaining popularity, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the pandemic, we all know. The pandemic helped that. You know what I'm saying? We can't forget that. Next up on that list, number 3, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate at 31 million. When did that come out? Was that 2018? I'm trying to think.
Ultimate. Let me Google it. I actually don't remember. But
Trying to think
30, you said 30 million.
Well, we definitely. Yeah, 30 million. But I know we definitely do for a new Mario Kart. That gotta be like that should be like a launch title for the next Switch.
Yeah, it's gonna be for the next Switch. That's my assumption. It's gonna be for the next Switch. It's not gonna be for this one. When does this game come out?
8 was a Wii U game, and they pretty much
2018, December 7th, 2018. That's when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out. Yeah, it got support for a very long time though.
Yeah, so maybe we won't see a new one just yet.
Yeah,
and they had a lot of characters in that one too. That's gonna be hard to top.
You know what I think? I think they said that they're gonna somehow revert it. They're gonna revert it back to like the next Smash game won't have as much characters. It's gonna be kind of like a reboot or some shit like that. So I wonder what they're gonna do. I wonder if they're gonna change the gameplay mechanics, if they're gonna go that route though. You know what I mean? Like, or is it gonna play like your typical Smash game? I guess we'll
like what's gonna make it stand out if they do revert those characters.
Like exactly. Like if you want to go back to having a small cast of characters, then you have to literally change the gameplay. I think that's like the only way people will accept that. You know, like that's like the only excuse you could give that people would be like, all right, yeah, like y'all changed the way this game totally plays, so now you have to do everything from scratch type of situation. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Good point.
Or they might just do Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe and just put it on the next one and sell 50 million copies or some shit.
You know what? That might actually be business-wise. That might be a smart idea.
They might just do the same shit they did with Mario Kart, bro.
With Mario Kart, right? Until they figure out like what they're gonna do for the next Smash. Like it might take some more time to develop the next iteration of it. Yeah, exactly. And then number 5 on that list was Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is at 25.82 million. Wait, hold on. What was the latest book? Oh, Scarlet and Violet. But even that shit is at 22 million. And that shit just came out last year. So
I know.
Listen, the Switch games, they sell. That's one thing you can't say about the Switch is that software don't sell. That shit is incredible.
Yeah.
So numbers looking good.
And I think we're at a place where, you know, like the early damage control for the Switch selling these type of copies is that like, what else you gonna buy on the Switch? But I think we're so late into the Switch life cycle that like you can't even say that anymore, Jmaine. Like you can't say that. Yeah, how can you say that? There's so much to choose from.
As a fan of the Switch, like they be getting games damn near like every month or every other month. Like the output of software is actually really good. So
I don't really think you can use that excuse anymore. That like, oh, there's nothing to play. That's the only reason why this shit sold 50 million copies. No, you can't use that excuse because at this point, if you're buying a Switch, the catalog is actually quite vast. There's actually a lot of games, like, you know what I mean? So shout out to Nintendo. They doing their thing with the Switch. They got a console that hit. Hopefully with the next iteration, whether it would be the Switch 2 or a new console, hopefully they hit home with that one as well.
Oh yeah, Drew Troops had Metroid Prime 4. They might as well save that for the new system.
Might be cross, maybe be cross situation, like probably like a Breath of the Wild situation, because they kind of already promised it for the Switch, so I could see them that they have to like release this for the Switch because they kind of promised it. But I could definitely see it being a cross generation game. And that makes a lot of sense, actually. It makes a lot of sense. Let's stay on sales. We also got some great sales numbers from PlayStation. You want to break that down?
Horizon, right? Horizon Forbidden West finally got a sales figure for that damn game. It took them damn near a whole year plus to actually release some numbers, and I understand why. I gotta understand why. Like these numbers are good, but they ain't knock your socks off numbers. They ain't pushing the franchise any forward. Pretty much, if you fuck with the first one, it seemed like they got the same people to fuck with this one. So Horizon Forbidden West has sold 8.4 million copies, taking the series in total to 32.7 million.
Respectable numbers. That's great.
Definitely respectable numbers. 8.4 million is a lot of copies sold. Whether it's bundles or not, like people kill me with that bundle shit. A lot of games get bundled. Like that don't mean shit. Like they still, you know what I mean? They still sold copies nonetheless. 32.7 million total for the franchise. I don't know how much of that could be the VR game, but I'm not expecting that to be no more than. I mean, what do we think the VR did? Like, did it even do at this point over 500,000? So we
have no idea. I don't know when we're gonna hear about that. Like, I would assume that when PlayStation like drops their like financial reports, like we would have seen like a sentence or something like
they didn't put shit in there.
But it ain't. They're not talking about that VR. And I feel like if it did sensational, if it did amazing numbers, Jmaine, if it was selling off the shelf, they would say something. It's PlayStation, Jmaine. They would definitely say
Right.
something. I'm not saying it's failing, but maybe the numbers is not anything to go and promote and gas and be like, yo, look what we did type of situation. Because it seems like that's
Right.
like the only time when PlayStation comes out and announces numbers these days. If you have paid attention,
Yeah.
we didn't get numbers really for Returnal. We didn't get numbers for like games like Ratchet and Clank like that. We didn't get numbers.
I mean,
You know
we
what I
got
mean?
the initial numbers, but no new updates on
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like if PlayStation is not breaking a personal record of theirs, or it hasn't hit a huge type of milestone, they don't really come out and say the numbers at this point. Like I've noticed that. I don't know if you've noticed that too, though.
No, I agree. That's why I kind of respect Nintendo too, because even if the games ain't selling well or
Yeah.
breaking records, they give you the whole.
They give
shit.
you
Like,
everything. Metroid, they said
Yeah, they
Metroid
had, like,
Prime
Metroid on
remastered
there.
1 million. They said it's only sold, which is
Yeah.
pretty good for Metroid.
Yeah.
So it's
They had Metroid Dread on there too. Like they show you all the numbers, so I definitely respect that. Some people saying this Horizon is selling faster, but it's actually not, because Horizon did I think like 7.4, 7.6 million in the first year, and that was 12 months, and then this did 8.4 in like 14 months. So it's kind of like the same. And the install base is bigger. So you know what I mean. And I don't like knocking games for that install base shit, because you can have 100+ million install base. That don't mean everybody on there gonna fuck with the game that you put out. It's gonna resonate with who it resonates with, and if it does good, it does good. I think that's how you got to look at install base and stuff like that. So
you know what though, with all the Horizon content that we're getting and seem to be getting in the future, it seems like PlayStation really believes in this franchise. Like they really love this franchise.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. Like they really want this to be a staple with PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like, because they be
Right.
going hard for it. We hear all these Horizon projects that are in the works. Like they got some sort of MMO going on. They got like another multiplayer experience going on. So it seems like they just really fuck with this they love this franchise like that.
I think in terms of society, like I think it resonates the most. Like you got Ghost of Tsushima, which I think personally I feel like, you know, that game probably could get pumped up as much as a Horizon just on the IP standing alone. But I think with Horizon being that, like, you have this girl who, you know, has these relationships with men and girls at the same time. You also have this girl. It's a girl who's the main protagonist. She's the hero and stuff, saving the world. Like, that's the type of shit that society is pushing right now. So I think that's why they are getting behind this like 100 degrees. And then
they're going
it's
crazy with this.
it's like your Ubisoft game too. So, and niggas love Ubisoft games. Don't let the internet fool you. Niggas love Ubisoft games.
That is true. They do.
Assassin's Creed be doing
incredible.
numbers.
They sell.
They
incredibly
love
well.
Ubisoft games.
Like you're saying this, and it's crazy because like Horizon, there's always like some sort of conversation about Horizon, like whether it's just me just talking shit and just clowning just for fun, shits and giggles, but it's a weird situation. Like you got people that absolutely love the game, that you got like people that like they're just not so just not so keen on it. Not like it's bad, but like it's not great besides the visual. Like you have that group of people, and
Right.
I'm just so interested because every time this game seems to like come out, it always comes out around the time that like it gets outshined by something else, like completely. Like whether it will be Breath of the Wild the first time, then it was Elden Ring the second time around. So you know, it's just always interesting to see. But it seems like, you know, PlayStation is fully supporting this franchise. They want this to go. They want this to really, really go. So that's good for them, though.
That outshine shit is only on Twitter. You don't sell 8.4 million and say you got outshine.
I guess
much smaller.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right.
you know what I'm saying?
You're definitely right about that. I think it's just like a kind of like online community discourse type of shit that the people be saying shit like that. You know, you're definitely right about that though. You ain't lying. Yeah. The world ain't Twitter.
So I definitely want to see what that Horizon multiplayer game is hitting for when that drops. And I ain't got no faith in that TV series. I think they should have made that an anime. I mean, there is a chance that it could be but I doubt it.
Yeah.
But I just don't see how they're gonna like translate that type of game into a TV series.
The CGI is gonna be expensive. That's all I got.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot. It's gonna be a lot of CGI and big ass robot machines.
I'd rather see them go the route of like the Tekken Netflix show, or you know, the Netflix Cyberpunk and edge riders, edge runners, or whatever it's called.
Edge runner, yeah.
I'd rather see them go that route. I think that would be pretty fly to see, especially Horizon depicted in that way. But as for a live action, it's just gonna look. I think it's definitely gonna look funny. The CGI is gonna be expensive, so I guess we got to see where they take us. You seen that Twisted Metal poster for the show?
They dropped the teaser. You see?
Oh, they dropped the teaser. I never watched it. Yeah. How's it looking? How's it looking?
That shit kind of look good. So I'm trying to figure out what tone they going for with that.
Like
that
serious
show.
or goofy, right?
Yeah, because they got Anthony Mackie in there, and I feel like everything he do, it just looks funny. Like he make that
goofy.
face, and then they got the music going, and it kind of looks like it's gonna be more of like a goofy tone, like a fun tone, but with some wild ass like crazy shit going on at the same time. So it might be a mixture of both. And then they showed Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth actually looks fire. But I just don't know about the Anthony Mackie portion. Like, I don't know.
You know what they're doing? They're just trying to bring eyes to the franchise because they're gearing up for that Fire Sprite release. Yeah, I believe those rumors are 100% true, and they're working on the Twisted Metal game, man. And I think that's
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I haven't played a Twisted Metal in literally years. And I'm very interested to see if a car combat game would actually resonate with gamers today in 2023. I'm very, very interested to see. Let's see how they do it. Since we're on the topic of PlayStation, we got some bad news from PlayStation.
Depending on who you ask.
I think this is still bad news, right? I know some will say like they don't give a fuck, but I think PlayStation needs more. I think PlayStation needs kind of unique AA games like this every once in a while to mix it up a little bit. Like me and you like Astrobot, right? Like we would love another Astrobot type of situation, right? So
for
if you don't know, one of PlayStation Studios got shut down. Pixelopus. They're the people who made Entwined. I never played that, but they also made Concrete Genie, which I played, got the platinum. It was a cool little, neat little game. So I enjoyed it for what it was. It was like a palate cleanser, you could say. And I thought the game was a little cool. I'm not like a super fan of Pixelopus or something like that, but hey, if they were making a game, I'll definitely check it out, especially if they're gonna go a different type of route than the typical PlayStation first party game, right? I would check it out.
They were rumored to be working on another game at the time too. Supposed to be like this game they were working with PlayStation Animation Studios, and I think that's when rumors were coming out about like Sly Cooper and other games like that, but it never got confirmed or it never got announced or anything. So who knows what really was happening? You can see that maybe they were working on something, and PlayStation probably got to look at it and was like,
this shit trash. This shit trash. Or Jmaine, or it could have been it was good, but this ain't gonna sell none. This ain't gonna sell none like that. Let's get this shit the fuck out of here, bro.
That does go in line with what PlayStation's been doing in terms of like
they want the big budget Hollywood games.
Yeah, they repurposing Japan studios. And I said this before too. I think this was on PSP when I'm like, I think at this point PlayStation is funding the shit first party wise that they know is gonna make them come back, and then anything else smaller they're gonna go like partner with somebody else to have them do it or have them like, get in bed with them to promote that game or have it exclusively on their platform. All that middle of the line stuff, like you say, that they need, they going outsourcing for that shit at this point. I think they want the big blockbuster shit.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. But so they'll partner with some smaller studios and stuff, and maybe even get them like, as we see with the live service stuff. Yeah. They partner with a lot of live service studios that are smaller. They're growing and stuff like that, and getting bigger. But that's just a realm that they don't have under their umbrella yet. So they invested in those type of games right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Like Japan Studios, like I like Japan Studios for some of the games that they've made. Like I've enjoyed some of their work. It's unfortunate it's actually unfortunate because I feel like, PlayStation definitely needs a little bit more of a, you would think they would have more of a Japan presence, and like their Japan Studios is fucking gone. They got only a team, Asobi, which
Team Asobi.
Yeah, and hopefully they're not just being like a support studio at this point. They're actually creating
something. They're doing Astrobot stuff.
They're doing Astrobot stuff? Okay.
Yeah, Team Asobi makes the Astrobot game, so that's probably what they have them working on.
So you think they're making a platformer for VR, or what would you assume? VR
It'll probably be both. I think they're gonna do a full-fledged 3D platformer game for Astrobot.
I need that.
And they're gonna have VR support with it because that's exactly what they need to make. Like Astrobot for the VR was fantastic, and then the little pack-in game that we got with the PS5 was great too.
That was a great
So you
experience,
combine something like that and you give it out full-fledged and make it a 3D platform with VR support. And I think they got something there. I think that could move a couple units.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I think PlayStation shouldn't give up on the whole AA, aspect. Them creating like a little smaller titles like that.
So,
and these are the perfect type of games you can launch into your services as well. Like if you want to, bolster up your services and fine, you feel like it won't sell a shit ton of copies, all right? Then maybe you launch a game like Concrete Genie, right? Instead of not releasing like a Spider-Man or a God of War in your PlayStation Plus extra, but you release like a Concrete Genie, you release a Dreams, you release like a quote unquote Stray type of game, and that will probably make the fan base happy. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a good idea really to get rid of these.
So I think they feel like they can do that still without having to fund a studio on a day-to-day basis, and that's how they look at it.
So just partnerships and deals type of situation.
Right. So like Sifu, something like Sifu. Like Sifu Slow Clap, like I could see them maybe buying somebody like them because they're very talented and you grow them and stuff like that. But if they could just get those deals going and they still do the same thing for them, and you put it on a PlayStation Plus or you get it exclusive for a year or something like that, and it still does the same thing, I think they have to do stuff like that because they're spending money on shit like live service stuff right now. Okay. They ain't got the bank. They ain't got the bank like Microsoft over there, but but Media Molecule, be very nervous. Is
that PlayStation love those guys because they take forever to make a game too. They don't even like. It's not like they take by the time I think they made, what was the last game they made before Dreams? Was it Tearaway? Tearaway. And when did that release? Wasn't that like 2016 or something like that? Or
so that was the Tearaway. That was the remaster for the PS4. The Tearaway originally came out for the Vita.
Yeah, but was that like, what year was that? Was that like 2015, 2014?
Oh, that was like, what?
That was a long time.
Damn, what year did that? I had that shit too, launch day.
Yeah, I had that.
That was my shit.
I couldn't beat that shit.
2013. 2013.
So they,
and then essentially helped with Little Big Planet 3, but they didn't fully make that. That was Sumo Digital.
Yeah.
And then Tearaway Unfolded was a remaster, which they co-developed with Tarzir Studios, and then Dreams came out in 2020. So yeah, they on the chopping block, man. I hate to say it. I like them back in the PS3 days. PS4 was definitely slim to none, and then Dreams, and then Tearaway. That's it. Tearaway Unfolded.
They really just need to go make a platformer. Like PlayStation, like get these guys to make some platformers for y'all, bro. Like not everything got to be an action adventure third person game, bro. Like y'all can make a platformer here and there too, bro. Like. Or they don't believe in their fan base to support something like that, Jmaine. They don't believe.
But they don't. But I think that's just is what it is. Platformers don't sell like that on PlayStation like they do on Nintendo.
That's unfortunate because once upon a time, PlayStation had some dope ass. PlayStation had some dope ass platformers from the Crashes, the Spirals. Like what we talk about, they were known for having some dope platforms on there.
PlayStation fans grow with I won't even say grow. They transition with the times. Like back in PS2 when platformers was the thing, like that's what niggas was heavy on. And then like back in PS3 when it was the action adventure and the Uncharted and the Infamouses and stuff like that, that's what God of Wars, that's what people were supporting. And then PS4 kind of took those same games and took it to the next level. And kind of similar with PS5, but then you have them supporting like the smaller studios that do the same thing. So I think they just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get into some more PlayStation news and discourse. Showcase. We've been waiting, Jmaine, for an extremely long time for this PlayStation Showcase. The fans are getting antsy.
It's happen. It's coming.
And if you don't know, right now there's rumors that it's happening this month. That's the rumors. That's the latest rumors. We don't know if it's true.
May 25th.
Yeah,
May 25th is the latest rumor.
That's the latest rumor that is happening this month. And honestly, it's a little bit believable because I think we're around that time where it would happen, right? We're getting to like the E3 week. Summer Games Fest is around the corner. Microsoft got their big show around the corner, so maybe PlayStation will have, their event somewhere in this timeline. So the rumors is it's happening this month, and there's been some crazy rumors going around saying that PlayStation has landed a deal with Konami, a major deal with Konami to get Metal Gear Solid 3 exclusively on PlayStation, as well as Castlevania, whether it be a reboot, a remake, or something. I don't know what it is, but Castlevania will be making a return, and these two games will be exclusively on PlayStation. Jmaine, do you believe that there's any, you know what I mean? You think these rumors are any truth to these rumors?
I do. I definitely do.
The Metal Gear one specifically, yeah. I believe something's cooking up with that.
So that rumor been going around for a long time. At first, we heard it was like a Metal Gear Solid remake. But being that if they do 3, I guess 3 kind of falls in terms of chronologically, I think 3 might be the first one. Don't quote me on that. Do your own research. I don't know the shit about Metal Gear franchise, but I know 3 takes place like
it's before.
It's before.
It takes place
it's before Solid. At
Solid,
least,
it's before 1. I know that.
It's before Solid. So I know
story of Naked Snake, Big Boss.
Yeah. So I could see them doing something like that. Silent Hill 2 is already I think a timed console exclusive for PlayStation 5.
They already got that. Yeah.
They already got that. And then Castlevania, which is another, big Konami franchise. I could see them bringing something like that back because it seemed like Konami was out the game. Like they was into pachinko machines. They tried to do that little Metal Gear Survive bullshit, and that was trash. After Kojima left, and it seemed like they only are interested in coming back if it's some money involved. So I could see Sony pulling up, be like, "Yo, y'all got some IPs that resonate with the PlayStation fan base: Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Castlevania a little bit." But they like, listen, we'll throw y'all some money. Y'all make these games and bring them exclusively to our platform. It's gonna do its thing because we the market leader. So we can flex like that and come back, and I can see them doing something like that. So yeah, I do think these rumors are real, and I do shit. I don't suspect a show like I think a showcase is happening like really.
It has to. Look, if it's not this month, it's happening this summer. Like it has
to happen.
If it's not this month, it's this
because
summer.
It's looking like it's only Spider-Man left for this year. They gotta give us something else. They gotta feed the fan base.
Yeah, they're gonna tell us like the second phase of the PlayStation, and that's what it's been. So
it's needed.
I made a video about this earlier this week. Go check it out if you
haven't. I definitely watched that. Make sure y'all watch that.
I pretty much went through like PlayStation Studios to see like what could possibly be there at the showcase. And I do think, just a little synopsis, I do think a lot of the live service games that they've been cooking up will have some sort of presence there. I think that's a given. I think Ghost 2 100% is gonna be announced there because we already know Sucker Punch is making that. My prediction was Nixus is making Ghost PC port. That was my prediction. And I was saying in my video, Jmaine, that would be a fantastic idea to show Ghost of Tsushima 2. Then maybe towards the end of the trailer, it'd be like, yo, the Ghost of Tsushima Definitive Edition or whatever it's called, the director's cut is coming to PC.
The PC.
That would be like a nice little thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And think about it, right? They're in the business of trying to sell more PlayStations. Maybe somehow they could get PC guys to play Ghost, love it, and maybe drive them to, buy a PlayStation, 2. Right? And play Ghost 2 before that comes to PC eventually. So you never know. I think that's a good idea.
That is a great idea. I ain't gonna lie. That's a great idea right there.
I was predicting that no Wolverine. What do you think if they do a showcase? I was saying no Wolverine.
I hope not.
I don't think so. Not. I don't think so either.
I don't want to see Wolverine again like for a while. Like I don't think that game is anywhere near coming out. Like people kind of think end of next year. I don't think so. I think they revealed that game way too early. Because
they want to get the hype there. They want to get the hype out there that like, yo, we got this IP and we cooking it. You know what I mean?
They did, but I don't like that shit because if you going on what 2 years now, I think, since it's been shown, and we don't even know shit else about it, and I don't think it's gonna be anything. Like it might be a more of a story trailer or something like that we see, but I ain't with that.
The blowout's gonna be Spider-Man. It will be Spider-Man 2. They're gonna show off like the big new stuff that game can do.
Spider-Man, I think Last of Us Online is gonna get the 2 games that will get a blowout.
Yeah, I feel like introducing Wolverine in the mix kind of dims the light of Spider-Man a little bit. You could tell me I really do, because right now people are waiting for that game, and at this point, like, yo, if you're gonna show Wolverine, is it gonna be another CGI like kind of concept, or is it actually gonna be something substantial? Now, I don't think they're ready to show something substantial yet. So I do think it's just going to be a Spider-Man blowout, and we're going to see just how amazing the game looks with Spider-Man 2. As for the other studios, they got we know Polyphony Digital is
Gran
just making
Turismo
Gran Turismo.
stuff.
They don't only do Gran Turismo, so Sony San Diego. There was something I didn't mention in my video. That secret quote unquote PlayStation studio. We did get a
Oh yeah, I forgot San Diego.
Yeah.
Shit out of San Diego.
yeah, something out in San Diego. Remember we got that kind of live from PlayStation commercial where we saw this weird girl, like it didn't fit, like it didn't fit.
Yeah.
And there's been rumors that, you know, Uncharted 5 is low key in development. Like there's been rumors of that. It's not the first time we heard about this. So you never know. Maybe that can make its appearance.
Yeah.
Or something, you know, if there's any truth to these rumors. So I don't know. Jmaine, what else do you think?
Last Uncharted was what, 2017? So yeah, 6 years or so. I can see that. I definitely think a lot of live service games going to be there.
Yeah,
because
I think
they
so
did a lot of partnerships. Haven Studios, Firewalk, Fire Sprite. They have this whole initiative where they're doing 10 to 12 live service games by 2026. So yeah, they got a lot. They got a lot to show. Maybe even Guerrilla Games is ready to tease the Horizon multiplayer game. Something like that. Yeah. Naughty Dog, it has to be like Last of Us Online.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
Yeah, they're not. There's no fucking way that they're gonna show anything like Last of Us Part 3. So people,
Oh, no,
I don't know.
hell no.
There's no fucking way. There's no way.
Hell no.
I know they're working on multiple projects. That's been confirmed, but it got to be what if they're showing something, it has to be the multiplayer. They can't come show anything else but that, because the fans, right, has been waiting this whole time, patiently waiting since the release of The Last of Us Part 2. So there's no fucking way they're gonna come out and show anything else but that, in my opinion. I did mention
You
this
think
in my
Bluepoint
video.
is doing something?
I think so. I think it's time. Demon Souls has been out since what, 2020? I think it's time that they actually could show, they could show us some. I do believe Bluepoint should have a presence. I did mention in my video that, you know, remember that we heard that Cory Barlog is working on a video, and like God of War Ragnarok, like he not that he was hands off, but like he was overseeing the project a little bit, but like the other guys were taking over really.
Yeah, he gave the reins to that other dude. Damn.
Yeah, I forgot his name. I don't know.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, we only know Cory
Eric
Barlog.
Williams. Eric Williams. Yeah, Eric Williams.
So we know that Cory Barlog has been working on something since God of War 2018. The rumor was it was a sci-fi game, some sort of space game, sci-fi game.
I want to see that.
So we might potentially see that at the showcase as well. I think it's due time. I think it's due time.
Yeah. Agreed.
So hopefully we get it soon, man. Hopefully we get it soon.
I was saying too, like on Twitter and shit like that they should probably want to get the showcase out before or around when that new Spider-Man movie come out, because then they could like show trailers for the new Spider-Man game during that like the movie theater and shit like that. As you watching the new Spider-Man movie, like, you know, try to tie those two things in together as much as possible, because I think they did a great job. I feel like every year something Spider-Man like game wise came out, there was something movie wise that had like a lot of Spider-Man presence. So when you tie those two things together in a year, I think it also helps people, like, you know, recognition, like going to the store, like, oh, I just saw the Miles Morales movie a few months ago, and then the new game comes out and he's in it and shit like that. So yeah, I definitely think they want to put that in front of people's eyes as much as possible.
Yeah. All right, we got some super chat donations that I want to quickly read. Thunder says, ROG Alley makes no sense. Why make a 120 hertz screen when the hardware can't run 120 frames per second? Low key. Like, yeah, I think that's just for, you know, stat sheets. You know, people just like having like high specs on the piece of paper, even though it's not fucking practical. So,
I don't know. Maybe them little small puzzle games might be able to do 120 FPS.
Type 1, thank you for the super chat donation. He says, usually don't get hopes up for a showcase, but it's hard not to for this. Been too long. Predictions for their one last thing at the end. Stay smooth. What do you think, Jmaine? Their one last thing announcement. What do you think that it would be? That's a good one.
One last thing.
It would be the Cory Barlog thing. It would be the Cory Barlog sci-fi.
Yeah, because they just dropped God of War, so people not expecting nothing from them. Like, us, we know like okay, Corey Barlog kind of been up to something, but people like okay, I don't know if Corey is Santa Monica. So when they see Sony Santa Monica, they're like, what the fuck? And they're gonna think it might be God of War related. And then it's
and it's not brand new IP. That would be the yo. This is one more. It. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I 100% agree. You know, Housemark too. I see someone in the chat. I don't think Housemark is gonna have a presence here. I think they just I think they had a crazy hiring spree not too long ago, a couple of months. They went from like 80 employees to like 110 or 20. Yeah. So I don't think their game is ready to be shown. As well as Sony Bend. I don't think Sony Bend's gonna have anything ready to.
Hell no.
No way. They were trying to get Days Gone 2 greenlit so bad, and now Sony said, "Yeah, we ain't doing that shit and make a new IP." So there's no fucking way that Sony
said they're doing a new IP.
Yeah,
so
there's no way that they're gonna have something ready, and it'll be too short of a time, bro. Too short of a time. But yeah,
somebody was saying not Last of Us Part 2 remake. That's a joke, but Last of Us Part 2
director's cut.
With the PC announcement attached to it, you could see something like that.
That's a possibility. But
I feel like chill because I feel like PC Part 1 was trash.
I feel you know what I feel. I feel like if they're doing a showcase right now, I think they should save that for like a blog post like later down the road, because at this point I think people want to see some new shit, right? Like I don't think people are want to tune in to see like you're re-releasing The Last of Us again type of situation, you know? So
yeah,
I do think
a lot of Last of Us.
Yeah, I do think that we will see some sort of PS5 version of The Last of Us Part 2. I think that's very likely, and we will get a PC release, but I don't think it will be at this showcase. I think they're going to show mostly new things, in my opinion, if they were going to show anything at all.
Oh, I'm looking at the live stream right now. What about Decima? Death Stranding 2?
That's a possibility too. I think that's a big possibility. You know what game I don't want to see? If they have the showcase this month?
Don't want to see?
Final Fantasy 16.
Oh,
if they do a segment with Final Fantasy 16 this month at a showcase, I'm pissed off. No, I do not want to see anything Final Fantasy 16. I'm tired, bro. We already sold Jmaine. We're gonna buy the game, Sony. We good, bro. We're gonna buy it. Relax.
That's
if they show me anything Final Fantasy 16, I'm gonna be pissed if it happens as well.
It's the last final push before the game drops.
Nah, bro. They better keep
the launch
that
trailer
or
something like that is gonna be there.
Now I'm seeing it so much that it's starting to piss me off. Now I'm seeing it so much.
Oh, it's starting to get into the Deathloop vibe.
Like, I don't want to see it, bro. We sold already, bro. Like we good. Like we fucking good, bro. I don't want to see that game no more. Like I'm buying it. Like we got it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So Final Fantasy 7 Remake 2, whatever the hell they calling that shit, it's probably gonna be there too, because that's supposed to be coming out within the next.
I don't think they're showing that.
Yo, that's supposed to drop in like by early 2024, the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear they said what? Wasn't it like winter? It was
low-key,
winter.
They did say that.
Yeah, I swear it was like winter.
Low-key, I think Square Enix capping though. I don't think they're gonna have that shit ready, bro. I'll be impressed if they do though. I think they kind of what 16. They kind of cooking up.
They kind of been on point with that one. So I don't know.
Yeah, they did say winter. Winter, you know, people are assuming that'll be this year, but winter does cross over to like
it could be next year.
So it could be next year. Yeah. So yeah. But I don't know. I feel like it's gonna get delayed. I just have a feeling. No way they cook up that fast, bro. That'll be impressive.
I mean, it's probably a whole different like studio that's working.
I know. Of course, but. I'm impressed if they get it out that fast though. I'll be impressed. I feel like it would come if it's coming out next year. It's coming out like late next year. If it's coming out the top of next year, I'll be very impressed. Very impressed.
Sheesh, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
but that's probably all I would expect. So
a
couple first party joints, some live service games, a big update on Spider-Man, Last of Us, and some of those partnerships they got with like Konami and Kojima and shit like that. With Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Should make for a nice showcase.
Moving on, though. I want to talk about this fucking list, Jmaine. That's
shit.
I want to talk about
I didn't even know these niggas ventured into video games.
I didn't know either.
That was all fashion and models and shit.
Yeah,
that.
So GQ.
What they know about video games?
So GQ put up a list of the 100 best video games of all time. And this list was voted by 300 developers, they said. or 300 developers and people in the industry. Who knows?
It was
Stuff
like
that.
developers, journalists,
reviewers,
streamers, directors, writers. It was a bunch.
Okay, so let me see if I can pull up this. I don't want to focus on anything besides the top 10 because low key, I don't even like the top 10, bro. I don't even like the top. I don't want to go deeper than that.
So, but this kind of list type shit, it kind of reminds me of Metacritic because it's an aggregate of a bunch of different lists put together, and then that's how you get the outcome. So I understand, like, you know, you feel like this list is a little, but it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense though.
It's kind of foo-foo, bro.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Let's just do the top 10. Let's do the top 10, and that's it. We could leave it at that. So, GQ said Breath of the Wild is the greatest game ever created, and I'm gonna have to hard disagree. And now you might say that's crazy, Kofi. You love Breath of the Wild. I think I'm hard disagree. If you look at the sentiment online, that's how niggas speak about Breath of the Wild. Like, this is the greatest thing since fucking Jmaine. What if I told you this is not even the best Zelda game?
I could believe you on that. I don't have a history. I don't have a history with Zelda like you.
Yeah, so. This is look. I love Breath of the Wild and for what it is and the experience that I get, but it's not even the best. It's not even the best Zelda game, bro.
I want you to pause right here. What makes you feel like this is not the best Zelda game compared to like the older ones? Because I don't have the history like you, so I don't know what this one was missing in comparison to some of the older ones that you felt it came like it was a shortcoming. Y'all niggas was going crazy over getting hot and cold, changing your clothes, making a fire to stay warm.
It introduces. Look, listen. Breath of the Wild introduces a lot of new concepts to the Zelda franchise via the smaller shrines, little puzzles that way. The physics in the game is sensational, but other Zelda game has pretty good physics and stuff like that with like the fire and the arrows and stuff like that. But that's neither here or there. It added a lot of new, but it was a very traditional, modern style approach of Zelda. I think what makes I feel like the heart and soul of Zelda is still like your typical dungeon, like your dungeons that you just crawl through in Zelda. I feel like that's kind of like the heart and soul of Zelda, and that at its peak, it lacked. Yeah, that's what this game lacked. Heavy. It did a lot of other things fantastic, but it lacked that portion of it heavy. So when I think of Zelda, I think of crazy dungeons and shit like that. And getting cool little what's it called? Whether it be the hook shot, whether it be getting the boomerang, whether you're getting like getting these cool shit, right? I think Ocarina of Time is still a more legendary game, and I've been playing that recently. This game obviously controls better, it's more modern, but Ocarina of Time is still might be peak Zelda. I even think Wind Waker is low key better than Breath of the Wild. If you're asking me personally, I think Breath of the Wild falls. For my top 5 Zelda game, it might be like 5 or 4. Damn. 5 or 4. But at this point, we're comparing diamonds to diamonds, Jamie. We're comparing gems and rubies to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing that I'm saying. It's still fantastic. But I think Ocarina of Time holds a special place in my heart. I think Wind Waker holds a special place in my heart. That game is legendary. I love it.
So what you're basically saying is the niggas that have this shit at the reason why this is number one is because motherfuckers ain't played the older Zeldas. This is like the first Zelda they picked up, and this shit would just happened to be amazing. So now it's like, oh shit, this is the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, it's great, but the heart and soul of Zelda is the fucking dungeons. You know what I mean? And this game definitely, once again, it does a lot of other things really, really well, but it was missing. It was missing that, and at the end of the day, and I still think the games I listed are superior. But that's just my take. If you disagree. This is where this is where I almost closed off the list. I'm sorry, I almost closed off the list out of this shit, bro. Right here, Jamie. The Last of Us is the second best game ever created. People, The Last of Us. Listen, don't get me wrong. Another great game. Another great game, but out of all of fucking game, and listen, I'm only born in the early 90s. I'm only 90s baby. And I played a lot of fucking games in my life. And The Last of Us being the second best game ever? Nah, bro. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, Jmaine? Jmaine, you think this deserves to be the second best game ever created?
Nah, hell no.
Come on, bro. Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
Because I know this is strictly talking about the single player, I don't even think this is the best Last of Us. So, single player wise, I don't think it is. So if you are giving me Last of Us in the complete package with the multiplayer and the single player,
the second best game. Shut up, bro.
It might make my top 10.
Yeah, bro.
It's probably gonna be in my top 10.
Okay. If it's a personal top 10,
multiplayer,
but this is crazy.
Number two is crazy. Number two is
crazy.
It is crazy. It is kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy.
Someone put this on. Someone put this like, yo, the people who made this list were born in like 2010, or like started gaming in 2010. I low key kind of agree with that. Like low key, this is not the second best ever created in life. Like that's crazy. In life, no fucking way.
We got Sony to blame for this because this is a very narrative, character, story-driven game, and characters that people fell in love with, and that right there is going to put a lot of these games higher than they probably need to be, because at the core essence for us is gameplay is like king. So when you look at Last of Us gameplay-wise, that shit is pretty basic. It's pretty basic. In fact, some of those puzzles are goddamn awful.
So I'm saying, from a gameplay perspective,
like that.
You know,
it's kind of shallow.
It's execution and the story that it told is fantastic. Like, you know, for a cinematic action adventure, from a gameplay perspective, it works. It plays well. I like it a lot. Actually, like
it does its job.
It does its job, right? But the second best game ever created, Jmaine. Hold up. See, this one I'm not too mad at. I'm not too mad at this because every generation has literally played Tetris before. This game is literally a legendary puzzle game. Legendary. You know what I mean? So it
never gonna be that. One of the best selling
I'm not
games
mad at
ever
this.
too.
I'm not mad at this
One
at
of the
all.
best selling games. Listen, Tetris Wars, we used to have the Tetris on the Game Boy Color in my household, and we used to pass that shit around and we see who get the highest level, dog. It was fucking war in the house, dog. Tetris taught you how to solve problems in a quick and timely fashion. Not timely because you had to be quick, period. Like once the levels start getting higher and it's going faster, you have to put those puzzle pieces in the right place, and you had to love Tetris, dog. Tetris being in the top 10, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this because this is actually a legendary game right here. Like Tetris is legendary.
Yeah.
Bloodborne is number 4, Jmaine. Another fantastic game, by the way. Another fantastic game.
Love Bloodborne.
I love it, but I feel like it's not a top 10 game of all time. We're talking about all time. And once again, I've only been on this earth for 30 years, and I know, like, I can't put this on my top 10. This might make a top 20 list for me, though, personally. This will make my top 20. But top 10, yeah, I don't think it makes it. I'm sorry to tell you.
It's arguably not even the best From Software, like, game. I mean, now that you have Elden Ring in the conversation, the Sekiro, it has some. In terms of the masses,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I know we all love Bloodborne. It's like internet trendy. I love it too, but top number 4 of all time ever created? I don't think so. I'm sorry. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt wouldn't make my top 10 list. Number 5.
Nah, not me personally, but I definitely understand it being in the top 10.
It wouldn't make mine. People love this game. I don't love it as much as y'all do, but it wouldn't make my list, so we can move on from that. Mass Effect 2, legendary franchise. You know, legendary franchise. This one I'm not so mad at. I'm not so mad at if it makes a top 10 in somebody's list. You know, I'm not so mad, but it has to be towards the bottom to me.
I mean, this is number 6, so
yeah. Metal Gear Solid. See, this is once again, now we're talking number 7 is number 7. Now we're talking, at least this game, you know, was a very influential game, you know, for what it did at the time. You know, a very, very influential game. Personally, Metal Gear Solid 3 is my favorite out of the Metal Gear Solid games I've played. Metal Gear Solid 3 is my absolute favorite one. And that game was pretty much peak Metal Gear. I think it just did everything right. But I'm not mad at this too. I'm not mad at that.
So Portal Metal Gear 2. Solid. Hold on, before we move on to Metal Gear Solid, like, so we're gonna get into like our personal list with impacts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something like Metal Gear, and I don't want to go too crazy on Metal Gear Solid because I feel like it aged horribly, and some games on my list aged horribly too. So I definitely understand for the time Metal Gear Solid was groundbreaking, and it deserves a spot on this list. But so I can't be mad at that. But
the funny thing is, we are gonna say our list after, and I would even say the games that I have on my list, even though some of them are old, I still think they're extremely playable today, and that should give it extra credit for a game that released maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and it's still fucking amazing. So we're gonna get to our list soon.
Okay.
Portal 2. Look,
Portal
I like
2.
Portal. I like Portal 1 and 2. I beat them. But it's a great puzzle game. Great concept,
Yeah.
great ideas, but greatest game of all time list. I don't think this makes my top 10. Nah, it wouldn't make my top 10. I don't know about you,
Good
Jamie.
puzzles, incredible physics-based gameplay is what the description says.
Yeah.
I
I
can
don't think
see it.
I don't think it makes
see
mine
it.
though.
So
See, I'm not mad at this one at all.
you see Tetris being on there, but not Portal. I don't know. You feel like
no.
Portal has
Because when I look at it,
like,
okay, let me say this. When I created my list, Jmaine, I put only games that were impactful to my journey in video games, that
Definitely.
really took it to the next level. It was amazing, and I lived and breathed and saw what it did to niggas outside. You know what I'm saying? That's like my list. Like, that's the description for my list. Like, I lived this. I saw what it did outside.
Right.
And I saw how impactful it was to me in my gaming journey. Right? So we're going to get to that. I'm not mad at this. Once again, Dark Souls at number 9. This is arguably, Demon Souls, Dark Souls is probably one of the most influential games of modern games, one of the most influential.
It created
games.
a new genre.
It literally made a genre. So I'm not mad at this at all. I'm not mad at this at all.
Impact.
Half-Life 2. See, look, I'm not a super big
Half-Life.
I'm not a big big Half-Life fan, but the PC man swear by this shit being the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't even finish it. I had it on OG Xbox and I didn't even finish this shit. I never played it on PC. I played it on OG Xbox.
I had the orange box, so it came with Half-Life 2, I think. I played Team Fortress.
I remember Team Fortress 2, yeah. All right.
My shit.
So that's their top 10. That's GQ's top 10. Yeah. And I'm going to give you guys mine. Jmaine's going to give you his. I actually want to hear it from Jmaine first, to be honest, bro, before I give you mine.
So like you said, like, these games is the ones that impacted me the most. So, fuck it. I'm just gonna go ahead and listen to them off. I don't know if this is in order, because I hate making lists like this, though. I really fucking hate it because shit like this changes damn near every day for me. But these are the ones that came to my mind when I was making my list. So starting off at number 10, and I probably was influenced by this list, I did put Tetris on my list because, like I said, Tetris was a big game in my household. It had people that weren't gamers in my household playing that game. The competition level, like I said, solving the puzzle that is Tetris as the time is going, as these blocks are coming in. It really inspired and created these critical thinking moments. And I feel like I use these mechanics with me to this day when I play video games. My number 9 game, I felt like I had to throw a sports game in there because I think.
Are you starting from bottom to top?
I did.
Okay. So Tetris is number 10. All right, cool.
So Tetris was number 10.
Number 10. Okay, got it.
Number 9, I had to throw a sports game in here because I loved sports games growing up. I feel like sports games, like, that's all, like, coming over to my house playing sports games. That's what we did. Like, we played games like NBA Jam all fucking day. NBA 2K, we know I have a history with that. But my all-time favorite sports game is probably NBA Street Volume 2, and I put that shit on my
classic.
list.
I'm not mad at that classic game.
NBA Street Volume 2 for me, and they need to bring that shit back for real. Number 8 on my list is actually a Call of Duty game, and it's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I think this might be the most hours I've ever sunk in a multiplayer shooter. This is back when Call of Duty was reaching, it didn't even hit its peak yet, but it was on its rise to its peak. But I think this was the game right here that converted it, like, to being what it is today. And for me, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I mean, I had PS3 at this time, and the shit was lit on there, so I could only imagine what the shit was like on 360. For me, Call of Duty 4 is peak.
Yep, that's peak
first person shooter. That's peak Call of Duty. It was down to the basics, kill streaks, 357. Even that wasn't too much. You had your guns, and it was head up for the most part. But for me, great maps, great arsenal of guns and shit like that. So for me, I will put Call of Duty at number 8. Number 7, I'm including the multiplayer in this because it has to be included. And like I said earlier, The Last of Us is going on my top 10 list because when you combine the single player with the multiplayer, I think it is one of the greatest packages ever delivered in gaming. Like I said, the single player wise, the gameplay, it is what it is, but I think the gameplay actually shines more in the multiplayer when you have to utilize more things and go against other human brains to get around.
Them people shooting through walls and all sorts of shit. That's
amazing.
We not doing that. That's amazing.
We're not doing that.
all that head glitching and all that head glitching. You PlayStation growing up. You PlayStation gamers growing up.
It wasn't like
different.
Y'all
built different.
It wasn't like that at the beginning. That's
different.
that bullshit that came around after the fact. Number 6 on my list, I got Kingdom Hearts 2. Still the best Kingdom Hearts to date. And gameplay wise, Fire is still one of the better stories. I know a lot of times people get confused with the stories, but I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 told a precise story and was easier to follow. It got mixed up a lot of times during the end and shit like that. And then you had the other games that came in that kind of muddied shit up. But I think Kingdom Hearts 2 by itself is a great game and its complete package. Fantastic game. Number 5 is Super Mario 64. I think when it comes to 3D gaming and shit like that, I mean, we talked about that game so many times. That shit, 100%. What that did for 3D gaming, and I was a child playing that shit, so like just to find memories of that, and I think still even going back today, like you'll find some great gameplay coming from a game like that. Number 4, I had to throw a God of War game on my list, and so I went with God of War 3. God of War 3, of course, the end of the Greek saga, the completion of it, the boss battles were incredible. I still don't think they've topped that to this date.
I agree with that.
And I agree gameplay wise, I think it was fantastic. Puzzles were okay.
Story was the weakest. Story was the weakest aspect of God of War 3, but
I disagree
because I think the gameplay was the best. I think the gameplay was the best, and the boss fights were 100% the best. It was just pure hype.
Why I disagree with that story comment is because it concluded the trilogy. So I don't think, I mean, if I could, I'd put the whole trilogy as my answer, but I kind of want to single it out to a single game. And I think that's how I landed on 3. Number 3, I have Pokemon Yellow.
Classic.
That was, so when it comes to owning my own like hardware or gaming hardware, I think the Game Boy Color was my first that I ever had that I can call my own. And Pokemon Yellow, I remember playing that game. I was like 6, maybe 7 years old, and I was getting my ass whooped by fucking Brock in that game. And it was because he had like the rock type Pokemon. And in Pokemon Yellow, you start with Pikachu, so you have to like build up your arsenal in order to get enough Pokemon to handle what Brock was throwing at you with the rock Pokemon, because Pikachu was weak against him.
Yeah.
So I think that game taught me valuable like critical thinking skills as well. Pretty much baby's first RPG right there. So that easily is in my top 5, well, top 3 if we talk about this list. Number 2 on my list is Super Mario World. Going back to the SNES, classic fucking game. Probably done beat that game over like 50 times at this point. Once we learned all the shortcuts and stuff like that, like you was able to get to that game easily. Yeah. But I think that's one of the games right there that you can give to somebody that's just starting out and learning video games. And, you know, that's something that they would need to play. That's like required reading, as they would say. That's required gaming right there. You have to play that to get to where you need to be as a gamer. And then number 1 on my list is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I'm not mad at that. I didn't expect that too. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah,
I'm not mad
Grand Theft Auto. So,
okay, Jmaine.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, real quick. I loved what they did with the RPG elements in that game. Yeah. And I still don't feel like Rockstar has gotten back to that fully. I think they dabbled with it in 5 and they dabbled with it in Red Dead Redemption 2. But we talk about shit where you can get fat from eating and then working out.
Yeah, pumping
like,
weights,
get lose
jacked.
The weight.
Yep.
Like stuff like that.
They need to bring that back.
I kind of want them to go back to that. I know people have problems with Red Dead Redemption, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad at stuff like that. I think that creates more immersion. That's why I like games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, is that immersive gameplay that you have in it. So that's my list for today.
I'm not mad at that. You have a lot of respectable games on that list. I'm not mad at that list, and everybody's list is gonna be personal. You know what I mean? Even this GQ one, even though I don't like it, I don't like it at all. But at the end of the day, it's opinionated, it's subjective. Is there really right answers for this? No. You know what I'm saying? So there's no right answers for this. So doesn't mean that my list is gonna be any better than theirs, or well, I don't know. I think I love my list though, but I'm gonna give y'all mine.
As you should. It's your list.
Since you started from the bottom, I'm gonna start from the top. Number 1, probably the most influential game I've ever played to my life journey in video games. It blew my mind, Jmaine. It blew my socks off. It blew me. You know what I mean?
You stood up and clapped when the credits rolled.
I might have. I got lost in this game, Jmaine. It just changed my life. Number one, Super Mario.
Tears of the Kingdom review.
Super Mario 64 is my number one game. Easily, probably one of the greatest games I've ever laid eyes on and played. And to this game, it's still a blast. It's still, to this day, it's still a blast to play. Besides the camera angle, it could be a little fugazi at times, but overall, that game has aged like fine wine. To me personally, I absolutely love Super Mario 64. Jamie, I remember when I popped that in, put it in the 64. Then I got to even just move around with Mario's face, move his nose and shit. I'm like, fire. Then I got into the game. You know what I mean? Then get to walk around here like, yo, Princess Peach's castle. When I jumped through a painting, Jamie, this is like the first time of me seeing some overworld. And at one point, say, yo, you're going to the basement of the castle. You're going through like, yo,
some more shit down.
It was so mysterious. You go to the backyard, the nigga with the ghost. I was like, oh, my mind was blown. I was like, yo, what is this game? My mind was frazzled. Then you have to collect all the multiple stars. You got different courses within the same. Bro, this shit was magical, Jamie. I don't know how y'all grew up. But Mario 64 was magical. Easily has to be my number one game of all time. I'm sorry. Number two, Zelda Ocarina of Time. Legendary, another legendary game that it did so much. Me and my brother played this shit together because I was having a hard time getting through it. And we played this shit. I have just very fond memories. And just the puzzles that you had to go through this game was just so fucking tough. But it was so satisfying at the same time. I love it. I played it over multiple times over the years. Also played the 3DS version variant when it came out. Love that game, right? So, number three, Super Mario World. I got two Mario games because guess what?
Oh yeah.
I don't know how this GQ list had a top 10 without a single Mario game. By the way, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Cause I know like y'all on this weird like Nintendo hate shit and it's like Mario, like but you have to understand what this little plumber did for gaming. You know, like let's not pretend his games wasn't like revolutionary. You know what I mean? Like really like game changing shit. Right? Super Mario World was another legendary fucking game.
Shit, you know and video game movies. I'm standing on it. That Mario movie is the best video game movie ever. Best video game adaptation ever. I ain't see the
like if you don't have a Mario game in your top 10, like what are you doing? Like you have to have at least like there's been like literally like classic Mario fucking games. You have to have a Mario in your top 10. So I have three. I'm letting y'all know I have three in mine.
Sheesh.
Super Mario World is number 3 for me. Number 4, I live this, Jamie. I don't give a fuck what none. I know all y'all hate Xbox. I know y'all talk shit. Number 4. Halo Combat Evolved. I lived through this, Jmaine. I saw what it did. I was at the LAN parties with my bros. We played the co-op. Jmaine, I lived through this. I seen it with my own 2 eyes, how impactful this game was and how lit this game was. I seen it with my own 2 eyes. I lived through this. Some of y'all experienced Halo Combat Evolved with Master Chief Collection. You and me are not the same. We are not the same.
We don't have conversations with those games.
We're not the same. I lived through this. I seen it. I seen what it did. I remember going to a place called Video Game Plus Mississauga, playing there. They're doing tournaments in there. I seen what this game did. It was it was so legendary, bro. It's iconic.
Hey, when PS2 was at its peak, Halo made it cool to have an Xbox. Like when motherfuckers was talking about all this PS2 shit, there's like, bro, I got Halo and
they don't know, bro. They don't know, bro. They don't know. Some of them don't know. I know right now is this Halo. You couldn't shit on it because Halo was fire. You was like, all right, that's all y'all got though. But Halo was the shit.
Listen,
I know y'all have a hate boner for Xbox. I understand. Today they've done a lot of fucked up shit, but that's one thing we ain't gonna talk shit about. This game really changed the game up and really changed first-person shooters on consoles. Mission Silent Cartographer, that shit was some next shit when you got onto that shit. Like they were doing some next shit with Halo Combat Evolved there. That shit is fucking fire, bro. Number 5, Metal Gear Solid 3. Another one changed the game. Game changing. Changed the game right there. After that, big fan of Kojima. Legendary.
Right. We was playing Metal Gear Solid 3 with my brother, and when he like was able to like to eat the snakes and shit after killing them to get like health and stuff, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like this shit is crazy. Like I didn't know that game was gonna go like be like that after playing like 1 and 2 and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So,
Solid and 2.
yeah, exactly. You know, going back to playing this Naked Snake Big Boss, that shit was legendary, right? Number 6, Jmaine, another Mario game, Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know how Nintendo did it, but they did it again. I don't know how they did it, but they did it again. Somehow they keep on reinventing themselves with this damn little fucking Italian nigga, bro. Like they just keep on doing it again and again. This one.
Hold up, you got a Mario hat under that that beanie that you got on right now? I mean, it's like a Kofi got some overalls under that shirt.
Super Mario. If you know, you know. That's all I can say. If you know, you know. If you love it, yo. If you know, you know. Super Mario Galaxy, legendary game. Oh my god, bro. I almost felt like I was playing Mario 64 for the first time when I was playing that shit. That shit is sensational, Jmaine. Sensational. Sheesh. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. Get mad at me.
GameCube, right?
No,
we.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sensational.
Yeah.
All right, number 7 for me. I don't know. This might trip some of y'all up. Soul Calibur 2.
Oh nah. We know what Soul Calibur was.
Calibur 2
was around. You know what Soul Calibur 2 was, especially. And we talking that Dreamcast, baby.
No, we talking no. This game didn't release on it. That's the original. This is the one that released on the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Soul Calibur 2. Yeah, okay, I'm talking about 2. I'm talking about 2.
You talking about you had it on Xbox.
I had the original Soul Calibur 2, which was a legendary game. But Soul Calibur 2, wow, bro. What a sequel. We were talking about sequels, Jmaine. What a sequel. They had that whole story campaign. What's it called? Weapon Master? Something like that. Where you had to go do all these little missions, whether the stage will be slide-in, whether it be one-hit kill. Like, they used to do so much dope shit. And they had the museum, the music in that game. Legendary. Nobody will see me with key leak at them days. The nigga with the staff, Jmaine, I was that nigga, bro. I was that nigga. Soul Calibur 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. And I love the way that, the GameCube had Link. PS2 had Hiachi. Xbox had Spawn. And that shit was so fucking lit. Oh my god, bro. One of my favorite games of all time. I'm sorry, Soul Calibur 2. Right?
Damn.
Now we're coming into a little bit more modern games for me. This game, I've beat 3 times, and I have a whole lot of respect for it. Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 makes my list of top 10. Yes, it does. I beat this game 3 times, by the way. Absolutely love it. The open world. At the time when I played this, it was easily one of my favorite open world games I've ever played. I've just lost myself in it when I was playing it when it released. Sunk so much time into it. The whole stocks thing was incredible. I love that whole stock thing that you could have done. It's had a great time. The whole perspective, you could play with 3 different characters. Was the story the strongest GTA I've played? I would say no. But
it was good.
It was good.
I think it was really good. I like the whole 3-character dynamic. I think it had definitely.
Yeah, that was
3 very interesting characters though. Like
exactly.
They definitely nailed that shit.
Yeah, from a story, like we're taking a short story perspective. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it was like Jmaine said, it wasn't a great ass story, and the way that they created and handcrafted this world was sensational. I've beaten this game 3 times. I love it, absolutely love it. GTA 5 makes my list. This one,
I definitely battle before you get to your last one. Is it your last one?
I have 2 more, then that's it.
Okay, yeah, I definitely battle with putting GTA 5 on my list too because I had that argument with myself about aging, and like San Andreas, of course, did not age well. And if you play GTA 5 right now, it's a great fucking game.
It's still amazing.
It's still good. It has a great open world and shit like that, though. Yeah, so definitely, I respect that GTA 5.
Yeah, GTA 5. I think it deserves that, and that's not even talking about the whole online component, which I didn't get to. Which, if you experienced a single player and loved it, and you loved what they were doing with online, I could only imagine.
That's like a whole nother game.
That's like a whole nother. Yeah, exactly. People are doing these. People are playing like roles in them and stuff. Like they got these custom servers of people doing. roles.
GTA RP and shit, man.
Yo, they did their thing. They did their thing with this one. So GTA 5 makes my list. I love that game. Some of y'all might disagree with this one. Y'all might say I'm a new age, JRPG guy, but I'm sorry. Persona 5 makes my list of top 10 greatest games of all time. I know this is question. I can say this one's being a little questionable, but honestly, Jmaine, something about this game, it did something to me. throughout my 2 playthroughs. It did something to me. The music, I loved the characters. The whole Fusion Persona. This is my very first Persona game, by the way, too. So I never played the other ones. So this was a special one to me.
The dungeons, they did a lot more with the activities outside of like school and stuff like that.
I love this type of turn-based combat, by the way. I love this type. This shit was incredible. The fact that you have all these different personas, you can fuse them and all this shit. Some people have played all the personas, so you might think 4 is better, you might think 3 is better. I've never played those. I played 5. I love 5.
I really think that's one of those things where it depends on what you play first.
Yeah,
because
I tried going back to 4 and I couldn't do it. To be honest, I couldn't do it when I tried going back to 4.
Yeah, 4 was my favorite one. Like when I first played 4, nigga, that took a hold of me. Like I put $100 in that game so fast, like it didn't make no fucking sense. So I understand, like people, if you started with 4, I think you might feel like that might be better. If you started with 5, I can see why you feel like that's better.
Yeah,
there's more shit to do in 5 too, and like everything is like
because everybody advanced. Everyone I speak to who played Persona 4 first say it's better than 5. Most people I know, I rarely know anyone who played 5 first and say 4 is better. It's kind of hard to go backwards because they added so much more to the gameplay in Persona 5. You know what I mean? The one dungeon that I did in 4, like I felt like just 5 was just way more interesting, bro. Like the different settings and stuff like that, it was just way more interesting, and I like the gameplay better. So Persona 5 makes my
bigger scale, visuals, stuff like that.
Yeah. And number 10, I swear by this game. Ever since it came out, I've played it once every year. This might be the only year I haven't played it because I got a child now and I'm busy and there's so much.
They're about to drop that Switch version.
But this game, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. It's one of the best games I've ever played in life, and it's a modern game. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This game is damn near perfect to me. It's damn near perfect to me, Jmaine. I can't think of one bad thing about this game.
Sheesh.
Y'all disagree?
No, you know what?
You think I'm crazy?
I don't.
Who thinks I'm crazy?
I think it's the best complete from software has delivered.
Multiple endings.
Yep.
Different paths with different boss fights. I absolutely love this fucking game, bro.
Shit has a good story.
This game is sensational. Honestly, it's sensational. Gameplay in this fantastic. I absolutely love Sekiro. So it makes my top 10 list. It makes my top 10 list. I'm sorry.
I'm not mad at that.
I don't know if y'all mad, but it makes my top 10.
A little bit too much Mario for me. You know what I mean? One too many Mario games for me. But
stop playing with Mario, bro. Mario has some fantastic games over the years, bro. Stop playing.
I respect Mario, but a little too much Mario. I can see you had this Mario hat on at the lunchroom in high school and shit like that. So I know with the white gloves. I understand. But you know, a little bit too much Mario for me. But I like that list. I like that list.
So I would say that's my top 10. And if we're entering top 20, that's when we'll start seeing games like Gears of War, their first Gears of War. Then we might start seeing games like Bloodborne will make my top 20. Then we'll start entering that conversation.
Uncharted 2 is definitely in my top 20.
Then we'll start talking. That's when those games start coming in to me. They're like the top. They're like the from 10 to 20 games. For me personally, but these games iconic. The ones I listed for me personally, iconic. It has to be. It has to be in there.
Shit, I didn't even put like survival horror is my shit, and I didn't even have any of those in my top 10. Like I'm trying to think would it be a Dead Space or would it be like a
Resident Evil 4 might make my top 20.
Resident Evil 4, shit like that. Yeah.
Someone said Salazar said Gears of War. See, like that's what I'm telling you. The first Gears of War, I was outside. I know what it did. If you're outside, you know what it did. The first Gears of War, I'm not saying any other. The first Gears of War, I know what it did. There's a reason why that game went on to have multiple games after. That game.
Street Fighter 2 would definitely make my Street Fighter 2 would definitely be in my top 20.
Yeah, so Gears of War is definitely in my top 20. I don't know where it lands. I would have to sit down and think about it. I don't know where it lands, but it's 100% in the top 20 of all time. I'm sorry. 100%. BioShock 100. Oh, it's up there. Arkham City is up there too. It's in there. I have to find a place for Arkham City.
Yeah. I
have to find a place. That's definitely arguably the greatest superhero game ever created. Yeah. So that would SSX has to be in there. I don't know where, but SSX has to be in there. I'm sorry, guys.
SSX Tricky was my shit.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. SSX has to be in there. But I don't know. I guess one day I'm gonna sit down and make a top 100, yo. One day, bro. Not today, but one day. That's gonna be hard.
I got a question too about your list with Halo. You chose Combat Evolved. Do you feel like that was the best Halo?
No, I think that's
Okay.
I don't think overall it's not the best Halo. I would say Halo 3 is the best Halo when it comes to a gameplay perspective. But the reason why Combat Evolve is my number 4 is just, once again, what it did for me at that time when it released, how much hours I sunk to it, playing split screen with the family, Beaver Creek with the bros. It was just an amazing time. The LAN parties. But if I had to say, like, okay, for a complete package, once again, Halo 3 will be a top 20 game. And it'll be high up there. It'll be like 12, 13. I'll probably have it somewhere around there. You know, Halo 3 is following up, you know what I mean? So that's just another legendary game. So yeah. I don't know.
Man.
But that'll be my top 10, man. That'll be my top 10. And it seems from reading the chat, some people, you know, kind of fuck with my list. They said my list is alright. Some say I'm bugging. And some people say my list is alright. So
nah, it's some joints. It's definitely some joints on there. Yeah, people can't be too mad.
Yeah. We got some super chat donations I want to go over before we get out of here.
This yeah, definitely.
OG Rizo, he says it would be better to go by franchise rather than individual games. There's just too many good games. Ocarina of Time is number 1, though. Yeah, you're definitely right. It would be interesting to do a top 10 franchise list, Jmaine. That would
franchise list. That would be easier for me to do, definitely, because it'd be hard to pick out certain games in a franchise, dog. It's like, damn, like this one did that great, but might have lacked there, but that one did that. So it's like, you know what I mean? It'd be hard to try to like pick like which one you gonna go out of the franchise.
Yeah. We got another one from Jay Harvey. Shout out to Jay Harvey. That's my guy, bro. He says,
oh my boy.
I think he's doing his list. He says Limbo, Majora's Mask, Max Payne 3, God of War 3, Fallout 3, Donkey Kong Country, Witcher 3,
Donkey Kong Country, fuck yeah.
Dark Souls 3, Twilight Princess, Red Dead Redemption, KOFI, Hunter x Hunter, and check Twitter. I'll check Twitter. I think he might have DM'd me something, but I will check Twitter. You know what? I'm not mad at his list. A lot of quality. Limbo. I don't know if Limbo makes mine though either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it makes mine, but I'm seeing a lot of quality games in his list. Donkey Kong Country is definitely certified. Donkey Kong
Country, Max Payne
certified.
Great. God of War.
Twilight
3.
Princess certified. Another great Zelda game. I'm not mad at your list, Jay Harvey. Jay Harvey with another one. He says, "Fuck Mario, Nika, a bitch." He said, "Nika, a bitch." Y'all stop playing with Mario, man. These Mario games, remember, Nintendo saved niggas with Mario, bro, back in the day. They saved gaming with Mario, so let's not play them. Let's not play that, man.
I get the fatigue now, but Mario back in the day,
let's not play. Yeah, let's not play.
That was that boy.
Retromatic 154 says, "Not gonna lie, I'm on this Zelda line and holy 30 plus already."
Oh, you on the Zelda line right now?
That's crazy.
You in the West Coast? Like what the
bro?
Fuck?
It's 9:15 and they're lining up. It's 9:15. They lining up for that shit selling
West
10
Coast
million.
Will be 6 o'clock. God damn.
They selling 10 million easily.
Hold on. Who sent that in?
Retromatic.
Yo, where you stay? No, I gotta know because I know they was lining up in New York City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they doing that
for the game
Nintendo
already.
event. Yeah, that Nintendo store in New York, in Times Square or some shit like that.
They be there, and that motherfucker stinking. Like they be deep.
Yeah, bro. But that's it, man. No. I think we crossed that mark, the 2-hour mark. I gotta go assume some responsibilities, man. It was definitely a good podcast, great conversations. Tears of the Kingdom night. I'm gonna be ditching the fam, the kids, going to pick my collector's edition. Then I'm gonna come back home and we're gonna play the game and give you guys our impressions of it next week, man. I'm gonna give you guys my real impressions. Like once again, since I've been playing on PC, I was kind of just tinkering. I didn't want to really go in too deep because I know most of my playthrough is gonna be the Switch. And when I revisit the game on PC, I want it to be the best version possible. I want the ultra wide support. I want the lock 60. I want the mods. I want the reshaders. Did you see how they did Simu? The Simu version of Breath of the Wild. That shit is sensational. Yeah. So I'm waiting for this game to turn into that. Then I'm gonna play it. You know what I mean?
I'd be fucking confused by which emulator, like Simu. Yeah. Well, Simu's
a Wii U
emulator, right?
Yeah, that's a Wii U emulator.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Ujinx and then
Yuzu is Switch.
Yuzu
is Switch emulator.
Okay.
Exactly.
So right now with the Breath the Tears of the Kingdom, that shit is Yuzu is the one that's really popping right now.
Yuzu, from what I've played so far, Yuzu got the best one right now.
Okay.
Yuzu got the best version of it running, with the 60 frames per second mod and stuff like that. But it still needs some work. So I'm not gonna play that way because I want the full-fledged experience first. So we're gonna play that one a little bit later. Nickwood Snake, the true antagonist, says no Def Jam, no Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Instant L list. You see, these are legendary games for me.
Def Jam probably gonna be in my top 20.
See, we're talking about top 20, top 25 games now, like top 20, top 25. You know what I mean? I gotta find revenge, some space for revenge too, WCW, NWO,
the
revenge. I love that
games.
Yep.
Fuck, it's so many, yo.
It's hard making a list.
It's
really,
too many.
honestly, it's really hard making a list. It's hard.
That's probably why they did it. Because I think what they did with this list is they asked all of these people their top 10, and then they aggregated it. So probably like based on what got the most votes and people's top 10 is what made like one and shit like that. So a lot of people probably had Breath of the Wild and Last of Us as like, in their top 10 somewhere high. Yeah. They probably gave each number in the ranking a point, shit like that, or a certain amount of points. So that's how they got the top 100. Yeah, I was watching I like watching like video game documentaries or people breaking down certain shit. I was watching the Sega because I always be interested like what the fuck happened with Sega and shit like that. And when they did like the Sega CD and the Sega
they fucked up their customers. They fucked up their customers.
Like I'm looking at that shit now. I would have been cool with something like that. Like you keep the same hardware that you got.
Mid-gen refresh. Same concept. It's the same concept.
But they had like separate games for it. I think that's where they fucked up. Like the library wasn't as vast for these because
and the support died quickly. Like the Sega CD, 32X, Saturn, like their library
was even worse.
Yeah, their library is not a lot.
Like the same damn time in North America as the 32. I was like, yo, what the fuck is they doing?
That's how they pissed people off, right? So when they did actually finally drop a great console with the Dreamcast, the damage is already done. And on top of that, strong ass competitors are entering the market. We got PlayStation 2, the most anticipated console at the time, the PS2, the sequel to the PlayStation. So now you have really tough competitors.
And then they got Xbox retailers off with the Saturn and shit.
Yeah, and on top of that, they had a bad fallout with like EA when the Dreamcast came out. So they didn't even get no EA games. That's why they got the 2K games. If you don't know, that's like the history behind that. They got the 2K because they had a bad falling out with EA. So it was a whole bunch of fuck ups for Sega, man. There's a whole bunch of fuck ups for Sega. That's why they're just third party publisher today. But yeah, they just fucked up their consumers because they kept on releasing these hardwares and not really supporting them, and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So
that mid-gen refresh shit didn't work then because they had to create whole new games for it. Whereas now you can just like patch shit in and update it cross generation and stuff like that.
Games come through, man. Your library.
But shout out to them too for the online features. Like they definitely pioneered that shit.
They pioneered a lot, especially with the Dreamcast too. They pioneered a lot of online shit. Xbox took it to the next level with the OG Xbox, but but Dreamcast definitely pioneered some online shit too. I remember
had like online demos and games and shit that would be in like a subscription service.
Yeah, they pioneered
like through a cable company. Like I was like, oh, I didn't know they was doing shit like that in the 90s. Like that shit is crazy.
Exactly.
Probably was expensive, but damn.
Exactly.
I love video game history.
All right, we're gonna get out of here.
All right, y'all. Definitely
hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast.
Hit that like button and tell your grandmother what we got going on.
We'll be back next week, guys. Y'all have a great night. Peace.
Absolutely.